Da, 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 da. What is going on? Welcome to another episode, another Saturday, another hangout, another live stream, another Nimmin Live, the number one place on the internet to learn about YouTube, hang out, and network with other content creators and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your YouTube questions. So what you need to do in order to make that happen is there's a form that is down in the description of this video. All you have to do is go down into that form that is down in the description of this video. Go ahead and put your question in there. I answer them in a first come, first served kind of way. So just make sure if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube that you go ahead and you get it down in the form right now. Also, I want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the number one browser plugin for YouTube content creators. You can optimize your videos with it. You can this is full of coffee, so I had to be careful of, took my thought away when I'm putting it on the coaster, make sure I don't tip it over. Don't want to tip over a scalding hot coffee while I'm live. It'll help you optimize your videos for discovery. It will help you A/B test your thumbnails. It'll help you tag your videos. It'll help you do bulk updates if you need to, help you manage your channel in general. It'll help you SEO your videos for search, all of that good stuff. So if you are not already a TubeBuddy user, you can install TubeBuddy for free so that you can see what TubeBuddy can do for you and how it can help you grow your YouTube channel. You can do that for free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. I have a link right in the description of this video that you can actually click on, as well as a bunch of other links down there to a bunch of other things that will also bring value to you as a content creator. So really quick, before we get into the question and answer part of the show today, I do want to let you know that today's live stream is it's open. So what that means is that here, just a little bit, I'm going to be hopping on Facebook and I'm going to be sharing the link to this live stream with some other people that you might know from the YouTube help space. And, depending on their schedules and stuff, I might have some people join us here in a little bit to answer your questions as well, in addition to what it is that I do. So you can get, more than one brain on what it is that you are curious about here on YouTube. So without further ado, I just want to say what's up to Fully Involved Media Group. What's up? Nice to see you in here. Doug Houston, YT, nice to see you as well. Horizon 89. What's up? Ryan Price. Hey, nice to see you in here as well. Paul Peck Drywall Tube in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you here as well. And everybody else that is coming in and is joining the stream today. So again, if you are just joining us, make sure Viper, Man About Tech, what's up, dude? Penny Morgan, what's up? Nice to see you here as well. Albert Tech, what is up? So yeah, so if you're just joining us, I'm answering your YouTube questions. So make sure that you get them in the description of this video now so that I can answer them in the order that they do come into the form. So the very first question that we have today is from Ash Phillips. Ash Phillips uploads one time per week or more, and they have been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a police channel, and the goal of the channel is to entertain my viewers and bring them happiness. And the question is, what is click-through rate and how to get it at a reasonable percentage? So let's give me a hashtag yes if you know what click-through rate is. Give me a hashtag no if you don't know what click-through rate is, and also give me a hashtag yes if you know, hey, what do I do to increase my click-through rate? Let's see what kind of information comes in from that. White Noise Studio, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here as well. Okay, so, a lot of people are like, yeah, no sweat on the click-through rate. I got that covered. And then there's some other people that are like, no, I don't know. What is it? Why are you talking about this nonsense of click-through rate? So basically, in a nutshell, for everybody that's wanting to know what, or that doesn't know, hey, Brioni, what's up? For everybody that doesn't know what click-through rate is, it's basically for every time YouTube shows your video to somebody on the platform, every time they show your thumbnail and your title to somebody on YouTube, the rate at which they click and come in compared to, basically, if they show your video to somebody on the platform and they click on it, then you just got a increase in your click-through rate. If they don't click on it, then you just got a decrease in your click-through rate. But click-through rate is basically your CTR. That's how you're going to hear it referred to a lot. And that click-through rate is based on how many impressions as well. So it's basically YouTube gave you X amount of impressions. This is how many people actually clicked on your thumbnail or title or clicked through to your video. And that's where click-through rate comes from. Now, in terms of normal, YouTube says that the average click-through rate is between 2 and 10% on the platform, but unfortunately, they do not give us the actual impressions for what that actually means. So that leaves it pretty much wide open. But what you want to do in order to increase your click-through rate is you want to go and you want to dig into your stats. And you want to start looking your YouTube analytics. That's what I mean by stats. You want to dig into those and you want to start looking around. And you want to start seeing the thumbnails or the videos, I should say, that got clicked on more. Because when it comes to click-through rate, it's not just your thumbnail. It's also the topic of your video, and it's also the title of your video. And all of those things, your title, your topic, and your thumbnail, all of those work together as a group to try to get people to come in to watch your video. So the better that you nail for the specific audience that you're trying to reach, the better that you nail them at the topic level, then the better your chances of getting them to click. The better you nail them at the thumbnail, in terms of you have a compelling thumbnail that's like, yeah, you know, it's clear what the video is about. Any text on there, if any text is used at all, any text that is used is big, bold, easy to read, and it's just clear what your video is about in the thumbnail, or it creates some type of intrigue, or your thumbnail adds to the title in some way or gives additional context to the title. So the next step in that process when it comes to your click-through rate, of course, is also, your title as well, because your title, that's the thing that will also help pull people through. So you want to think title, thumbnail, and topic in terms of, hey, when I'm packaging this up for YouTube and nobody knows what the actual video content's about and they're seeing this from the outside, how can I do this in the best possible way to make sense to the people that I'm trying to reach? And the better you get at it, and the better you understand the people that you're trying to make content for, the better your click-through rate is going to be on your videos. Okay. Now, a few details that I do want to let you know when it comes to your click-through rate is you want to make sure that if you have a low click-through rate, if you're getting a ton of impressions, it's not a big deal. Right? Like, for example, I have a video on my channel. It's got, I think, like 4 million or 5 million impressions on it. And it's got like a 1.3% click-through rate, which isn't fantastic, because you're thinking like 1.3, that's actually like really low. However, compared to the amount of impressions that it's had, it's actually driven that down over time. It used to be, it used to be better. So when you have hardly any impressions at all, but you have a higher click-through rate, it doesn't really mean as much as it does when you have a lot of impressions and then you're still able to maintain that higher click-through rate. So hopefully that gave you some context in terms of what the click-through rate is.
Super chat.
Ash Phillips, thank you for the super chat there. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Savvy Turtle, welcome to the Nimminati. Welcome to channel membership. The channel membership. It's been one of those days. I'm a little bit off today. I'll be straight up with you guys. I'm like a little bit off today. So my words are probably going to slide all over the place, and that's totally okay. But yeah, so channel. So welcome to the channel memberships. So make sure that when you get the chance that you look in the community feed here on YouTube, because there's some stuff in there for you there. Also, make sure that next time you are on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. And inside of the members only Facebook group, you can ask questions and you can interact with the other members as well, give them feedback on stuff and that sort of thing. So make sure that next time you're on Facebook, Savvy Turtle, that you look for Nimminati VIP. All right. So the next question that we have here on the list, and just in case you are just joining us, I'm pulling these questions from a form that I have here, and that form is linked down in the description below. So if you have a question about what you're doing on YouTube, make sure that you put it in the form down below so that we can get that question answered for you. Now, the next question that we have here is from M the Boss GT. And they upload 1 time per week or more. They have a gaming channel, and the goal of the channel is to help community improve at Fortnite. And I can tell you that I may have at one time watched one of your videos, because when I was first messing around with playing Fortnite, because it's an entertaining game, I was looking around YouTube, watching some of you gamers out there, looking for, some tips on, how I could be better and all of that. So really quick.
Super chat.
Oop, wrong one. The Reaper 777, welcome to channel membership.
To the Nimminati.
Welcome to the channel membership as well. Make sure you check the community feed here on YouTube. Also, next time you're on Facebook, make sure that you look for the members only group, Nimminati VIP. Fill out all the questions on the way in, because that's how I verify people on the way in, just to make sure that, all the requests that are coming through are legit and all that stuff. I'm sure you can imagine the people that reach out trying to get in there, even though they're not channel members.
Super
Aquamate, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, Nick, would you do a live chat for myself and our community with me. If I send you an email, it would help a lot of creators on YouTube in our niche. So are you saying like basically I would just come hang out on your live stream? Shoot me an email, asknimmin@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, and depending on time zones and how they line up and all that stuff, we can see if it's a good match. Adventures of John Storm.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Same with you. Make sure you check the community feed. Also, make sure that next time you are on Facebook that you look for the Nimminati VIP Facebook group. Stephanie Marie, what is up? Nice to see you hanging out in here. Femininity with Mama Gail, what's up? Nice to see you in here as well. ASMR Dream More, nice to see you here hanging out also. Hope everybody had an awesome week. Hope everybody's doing okay, staying safe out there. iPhone Chris says my CTR is 45% and up to 59%. So that is fantastic, by the way, but you have to look at the amount of impressions that you're getting also. So you might be getting crushed in impressions, like, hey, what's up, Ratty Star? You might be getting crushed on impressions, and if so, then that's fantastic, and you probably have a viral video in that situation. But if not, if the impressions are really low, that's still actually fantastic. But you need to make sure that you're looking to see where those where those impressions are happening and where you're getting that click-through rate from. Because, for example, like if it's on your channel page, then, that can skew that data as well. So you want to make sure that you're looking in your traffic sources so that you can make sure that the click-through rate that you are looking at is accurate and not averaged out across YouTube. Both of them matter, but you want to be very specific when you're looking at your click-through rate. So the question here on the Fortnite one is, why does my content appear lower than my competitors in search despite us having similar tags and description? Also, what is the browse feature? So the browse feature is basically home pages and the subscription feed. That's what browse features are. The recommendation features are additional things. That's, like where your videos get suggested next to other videos on the platform, that sort of thing, and other YouTube features. But in terms of the first question, which is why does your content appear lower than your competitors despite having similar tags and description? Tags and description are not what make your videos rank. Your tags and your description help give context to what your video is about. However, the click-through rate of your video, how much people enjoy your video in terms of the engagement, watch time that you're getting off of that video, and the people that are watching that video, are they sharing it? Are they interacting with it in terms of comments, likes, that sort of thing? So basically what's happening in that situation, if you're getting outranked, is they're just getting a better response than you are with the video content. So it would be really easy to game YouTube if all you had to do was just fill in some tags and fill in a description, and then you were good to go, right? So the reason that theirs performs better than yours, and the reason that some of you get traffic and the reason that some of you don't, is because the people that are getting traffic, you have figured out how to get a response from the people that you are making content for. The people that are not getting traffic have not went through that process yet, or they're just not as far along in terms of understanding, how to get their audience to click on the stuff that they're doing and how to make content that their audience enjoys. So it's part of the process. We all go through it. So hang in there. So let's see, a few more of these came in.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Reaper 777. Oh, I think I got you already. Designs by CAD Pro.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Woo! Matthew.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
MRC. Welcome to Nimminati. So for all of you, make sure next time you are on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That's our members only Facebook group. And also make sure that when you get the chance, you look in the community feed as well. So just as a heads up, if you're a channel member and you are not a part of the Facebook group, because I know there's a lot of you that are not part of that Facebook group, you can create a page. If you're worried about privacy and people knowing your name behind your channel and stuff, you can actually create a Facebook page based on your channel name, and you can join the group as your channel name as well. So just as a heads up, if you're not in there because you're like, hey, I don't want my personal stuff there, just as a heads up, you can create a page and you can join as a page as well, so that you can also get the value out of that.
Super chat.
It's perfect. Thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Okay, so next up that we have on the list here is, let's see here. So that's why the people outrank you. Next up, we've got Patch Answer is the question name. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a gaming channel, and scripting is the type of channel. And the goal of the channel is to help people improve in Roblox and learn how to use Roblox Studio. The question is, why am I not getting subscribers? All my friends are putting nearly no effort into their channel, and they still have more subscribers. So it's your content. The reason you're not getting subscribers is because of your content. Well, it could actually be a number of things. One, you have a discovery problem, which means that your titles and thumbnails are not getting people to click. Once they do click, it's a content problem, or it could be a content problem, which means that if you can't get people to click, then YouTube's not going to keep showing your videos to people, because it's a waste of space for them in terms of they can put content that's proven to perform in the place where they would normally put you. And then once somebody does click, if you are getting the clicks, but people aren't, watching, or they're watching, but they're not subscribing, then in that situation, then if you're not converting viewers into subscribers, that means that they're just not getting that the value that you're offering to them through the content that you're putting out, it's not crystal clear. And what I mean by that is maybe you don't have a value proposition. Maybe you don't have, in terms of, letting people know what your channel's about. Maybe you're making a bunch of mixed type of content. Maybe you're just doing like meme style content where there's no like real value there. Like, hey, it's good to come in and watch that video, but there's no real reason to subscribe to an entire channel full of this. Maybe you make content to where I know there's like an auto service channel, or like a car channel that would hang out in the live streams quite a bit before. And with them, one of the things that they had was people, because the type of content they would make is they made content on a bunch of different type of cars, and it was how to fix specific issues on a bunch of different type of cars. But since they weren't really focused on a specific type of car, the people that were coming in and watching that video, there wasn't any clear additional value on the channel, which because of that, it ends up hurting the view to subscribe rate on the channel itself. So, those are some things to think about in terms of just making sure that it's clear the value that you offer. Because here's the thing, and as a content creator, everybody needs to understand this because it's super important. The amount of work that you put into your content, because the part of the question was that my friends that are putting out the content, they're not putting in much effort, but they're getting a better result than I am, where I'm putting in all this work and I'm not getting as much effort. Unfortunately, the amount of work that you put in doesn't necessarily reflect the result that you're going to get. It can, if that work is, effective work, but the amount of work that you put in doesn't always reflect the result that you get out of it. That's why you see some people, they're just kind of winging it and they do great, where other people, they put in all this time and they're just struggling along. Because even though you put in more time for whatever reason, even though that they're just kind of, winging it or whatever it is that they're doing, people are responding to their content more than they're responding to yours, even if you're putting more time in it. So in terms of the amount of time that you're spending on your content, the only thing that matters is how people are responding to that content. Like if you care about getting views, and if you care about getting subscribers, and you care about growing your channel and all the awesome stuff that comes with it, then in that situation, you have to make content that people respond to. Right? You have to make content. It doesn't matter if it takes you 10 minutes to make it or if it takes you 10 days to make it, people have to respond to it. Right? So, some people, they can just go right through, no problem at all. They just put up content that a lot of us might look at as like, oh, that's lame content. Why would anybody even bother putting that up on YouTube? But viewers enjoy it. And that's what matters. And that's what causes those channels to do well. So next up on our list, we've got, let's see here. We've got Plush Gamers. And I don't think, okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so gaming and entertainment content. The goal of the channel is I want to make funny, intriguing, and well-edited videos for people to enjoy. Goal accomplished with like every upload that you do. Goal accomplished. Okay. So the question is, I never go out and ask people to subscribe. Instead, I use a sub end screen and a watermark. Is it a good idea? For reference, I have 13 subscribers my first 6 months, and only 69.5 of my viewers are subscribed. Okay, so when it comes to asking people to subscribe, you definitely want to ask people to subscribe somewhere in your video. It's proven to work. I've proven it time and time again. YouTube themselves have proven it time and time again. A bunch of other creators have proven it time and time again. You want to ask people to subscribe. That's actually just a marketing tactic. There's a name for it. It's called a call to action. And the idea is that you are inviting people to take that action that you want them to take. Because here's the thing, like when somebody's watching a YouTube video, as content creators, we're always thinking subscribe, right? But as like just a general person on YouTube, a regular user, they're just watching the content. They're not thinking like, oh, I got to make sure I subscribe to this channel, right? So you have to remind them to subscribe. So as part of what it is that you're doing, I recommend that you verbally tell people to subscribe in your end screen. But again, you might also be running into that same thing to where, the people just aren't getting the real solid value out of it. Now, another thing that I want to address here really quick is that you said that 69.5% of your viewers are subscribed, or wait, are or are not? Oh, they are. Okay. So because of that, at least you do have some subscribers coming back in. But the downside is if you're not getting a lot of traffic, then having a majority of your subscribers watching your content actually translates into slower growth. But if you're getting tons of views, then it doesn't really matter. But if you are not getting like a lot of views right now, then if you have like 70% of your subscribers watching your videos and you're only reaching 30% of unsubscribed people, then what you're doing in that situation, it's not by plan, but what you're doing in that situation is you're not reaching a lot of not subscribed people if you're not getting a lot of views.
Super chat.
Savvy Turtle, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the super sticker. Got to be specific here, folks. We're not messing around. We got to be specific. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Margie Lynn CG, good evening. Hope that you are doing fantastic. Rocking the N and N's there with the emoji. Juliet Oozer says that they have a sewing and DIY channel, and the goal of the channel is to reach a wider audience for my sewing business. That's cool. Business channels are awesome because there's like a you have to put a lot of thought into a business channel. You got to put a lot of thought into YouTube channels anyway. But the cool thing about business channels and people that are like, hey, I'm trying to either turn my channel into a business or I have a business and I'm using YouTube to bring attention to it. Like those are awesome because, there's a lot of thought that you get to and a lot of strategy that you get to put into that. So the question is, I sometimes batch upload videos and schedule them weeks in advance. Does this affect how my videos perform? Does the length of time a video stays as unlisted matter? So no. So technically you can upload videos, a year in advance if you wanted to, and you could just have them set to publish out. Just make sure that when they do publish, for the sake of the community and the people that are coming in and they're interacting with the channel, that you do find some time. It doesn't have to be right when you publish, but that you do find some time to come in, interact in the comments, things like that, so that you're active on your channel and you're active on YouTube in addition to just pushing out the videos on a regular basis. But one thing that I can tell you is if you are scheduling your content out, a good tip for you, and actually the Creator Insiders channel, which you should all be subscribed to, it's basically staff at YouTube, and they, put out content and they have conversations about, myths and about, things that you should just keep in mind and things like that about your channel. So make sure you're subscribed to them. But basically on the Creators Insiders channel, one of the things that they mentioned was if you are scheduling your content, that you want to just be mindful that a majority of people on the platform usually schedule like on the dot. So for example, you might see a lot of people to have a scheduled post at like 8 o'clock. So because of that, they actually recommend that you push it forward a little bit or you pull it back a little bit so that you're in one of the other time slots so that you're not going out on those mass push times. Because one of the things that they mentioned in that particular video was that when you do publish content and it's going out, with all the other content that's published at that time, in some cases that can mess with your notifications. Plus, you're competing with all this new content at once and things like that. So because of that, when you are scheduling your content, just move it just a little bit in one direction or the other, either a little bit later or a little bit earlier, so that when you are, when your videos do publish, that you're not, competing with all those additional videos that are going out at that particular time. All right, we got, let's see here, Profits of Success, cool channel name. Says, how long should you let a video settle before looking at analytics and making changes when you only have like 57 subs? If you don't have a large audience, difficult to judge how good the video is, etc. Yeah, it is tough. So what you have to do is you have to still look at the information and you still have to look at it from the perspective of, okay, it's only 57 people right now. So, like if we were looking at like statistical significance, this wouldn't really, add up. However, I still need to be mindful of how those 57 people are responding to what it is that I'm doing. I still need to be looking at my click-through rate, and you need to be getting into those habits anyway. But in terms of if it's going out to, just like a handful of people and it's not getting the response that you're after, in that situation, I mean, videos can come to life, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road. Like when you publish them, they might not do great, but then they come back to life later. In other cases, you publish a video and it just tanks. It just doesn't do well. So because of that, you're kind of taking taking a gamble if you go in and you're like, hey, this has just not done anything, in 24 hours. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start making some changes to it. You can definitely do that, but just know that you are, you're kind of rolling the dice on it and hoping that you're going to get that lift now instead of, letting it settle into YouTube. After they accumulate more data, you get, views trickling in over time until YouTube identifies, hey, this is the right audience for this type of content. So we're going to put it in front of more people like that. Right. So to give you like an exact number, again, I would just like, if you want to roll the dice on it because, you're not getting a lot of views right now and you're like, hey, I want to roll the dice, then just do it one time. So don't go in, change it. And then if nothing happens, change it again. And then if nothing happens, change it again. Don't do that. If you don't see, like, if you're like, yeah, this video is not moving, then, give yourself like 24 hours and then make a change and then don't touch it again for like 3 months. But one thing that can help you with that particular problem is, okay, really quick, let me know here for everybody in the chat.
Super chat.
Ian Okamoto, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So for everybody in the chat right now, do you typically record your videos and edit your videos and then do your thumbnail and title right before you publish your video? Or do you come up with your thumbnail and title first before you actually make your video content? I'm just curious. Because the reason I'm asking is because when you are putting your videos out on YouTube, one thing that can help prevent you from having to go in and make changes is to plan the video ahead of time. So what I mean by that is if you, Profits of Success, okay, so we've got, yes, edit, then thumbnail. We've got record, then thumbnail second. Okay, yes, we got a lot of people doing first option, thumbnail at the end. Okay. So of course, if you need to have some of the video content in order to make the thumbnail, then you're kind of stuck in that situation unless you plan it ahead and you're like, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to do a vlog today. We're going to be running around this side of town. We got to make sure that we get a couple of clips or a couple of shots that look like this so that when we make our thumbnail, because our title is going to be this, so that when we make our thumbnail, we can make sure that our thumbnail and title work well together and it's a perfect match for the actual video content as well. So what I want to suggest to you, Profits of Success, and everybody else who's making their thumbnails at the end and their titles, is actually do that work. Urban Explorer, what's up, dude? Actually do that work ahead of time and do that work ahead of time so that you can say, okay, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to commit to this title. I'm going to commit to a thumbnail that looks like this, or at least contains these things in it. And I'm going to try to make sure that I get those shots when I'm out and about, or when I'm reviewing whatever it is that I'm reviewing, or whatever type of content that you make. But I'm going to think through what I might do with my thumbnail, and I'm going to go ahead and write the title so that I can make sure that when I'm putting the video together, and I'm actually doing the edit and I'm uploading everything to YouTube and I'm writing my description and all that stuff, so that you can make sure that the entire process you're staying true to your title and your thumbnail. And the big win with that is that you commit to that. And then when you commit to it, you're going to keep those. So you're not going to go in and you're not going to change them all the time. You're right. It's going to be something where you're like, okay, I'm going to publish this video and I'm going to give it like 3 months. And we're just going to see how it does over that 3 months. But in that process of that 3 months, I'm going to still keep putting out content. I'm going to be planning it out. But what you do want to do, as these things are, or as you are, making that commitment, and as you're, basically doing the planning first and then you're making the content, is you want to make sure that you are paying attention to what is happening on your channel, even if you have, 57 subscribers, or, let's say you have 100 views or 500 views or 1,000 views on a video. You want to make sure that you're still paying attention so that you can notice, hey, okay, so I put in the work in all these videos. This is my little video army that I have out there working for me to, pull in new viewers to expose them to my channel. And out of all these videos that I put out there, my video army, out of all of them, I've got, these 3 or these 5 that have done exceptionally well compared to the other ones. And what that means is, let's say that you're getting 100 views on a video right now. Well, you have 3 or 5 of those videos that you've made over the past, 28 days or 90 days. And out of the videos that you've made over that time period, let's say you have 3 that instead of the typical 100 views that you get, let's say they got 500 views or 1,000 views on them. So what you need to do in that situation is roll up your sleeves and go in there and start really breaking down in your analytics why you think that those videos did better than the other videos. You have to look at your topic, you have to look at your title and your thumbnail. And when you're looking at those things, you need to think of, okay, with the topic that I'm using for this particular video, the things that I'm actually covering in this video, is there similarities between the ones that performed well compared to the ones that didn't? When it comes to your titles, you need to start looking at, okay, with the titles that I've written, I need to look and see literally what words I'm using in the title and see if I find similarities in the words, if I find similarities in the phrasing, if I find similarities, like maybe the 3 that did well were questions compared to statements. Maybe the 3 that did well were statements compared to questions in your titles, as an example. Maybe it was about a specific product, right? And the reason that you want to make sure that you're paying attention to these things is because once you start noticing, right? Once you start noticing, like, hey, these are starting to do better. They're not, I'm not getting tens of thousands of views on them, but I normally get 100 and these are getting, 500 or 1,000. So because of that, I'm going to start really trying to figure out why people are enjoying these videos and why they're clicking on these videos more than the other videos. And then I'm going to start making more content like that. And that's how you actually get that ball rolling to where you can get your views, swelling up and all that, even when you have, low data or hardly any data on your YouTube channel yet. So hopefully that helps.
Super chat.
Savvy Turtle, thank you for the super chat. Says, I know over 1,000 subs is not a lot. It is, man. That's 1,000 people, right? If you took 1,000 people and you're like, okay, everybody, 1,000 people, now let's all, hang out and everybody look at me and I'm going to do whatever type of content you make, Savvy Turtle. Just say you're going to do that type of content like live right in front of a bunch of people. All of a sudden 1,000 becomes like a lot of people, right? So it's definitely a lot. But the question says, I know over 1,000 subs is not a lot, but to most, but can you celebrate with us when we break 1,000 subs like you do with 100,000 subs? Most of our success is because of you. Thank you so much. I do. Here's the thing. When I see people crossing 100, because I know that's a big one. I know that's a big one because with that particular one, you get you get the option to get your custom URL, which is basically youtube.com/your channel name. So because of that, I always celebrate the 100s. I always celebrate the 1000s when they happen. The like 10,000, that's also a big one because that opens up more YouTube features for you. 50,000. 25 because you're a quarter of the way to the play button, 50 because you're halfway, and then like 50 to 100, that's just kind of like this void. And then like once you hit 100, and then it's like, dance in the street, got the play button, and then from there it's the push to, the next YouTube award, which at that time is $1 million. But even like with that though, every single subscriber that you get, like there's a celebration there, like it's 100, 1,000, 5,000, like every single milestone, those are all human beings that are coming in and that are participating in what it is that you're doing, which is an amazing thing that, that we even have this platform to be able to do that on in the first place. So, definitely without question, huge wins in those situations. But you joined the channel membership too, I think. So since you did, and I'm just kind of looking here just so I can confirm, but since you did, and I'm pretty sure you did, we are celebrating those things in our members only group as well. So like as people are, hitting different milestones and stuff, they're posting the milestones in there, and we definitely congratulate everybody.
Super chat.
Sports and Touring says, thanks for all your advice. It helped me go from 0 to 1,500 subs and 200,000 views in a year, despite very limited hours for YouTube outside of my day job. Nice work there for you, Sports and Touring. That's good. Taking the side hobby, right, and turning it into like a moving channel. That's pretty awesome. The Arkansas Diamond Miner says, coffee on me this morning. Thank you for all the great tips on building a solid channel. The Arkansas Diamond Miner, thank you for the super chat. Glad that you are enjoying the content and getting value from it. I'm gonna take a drink of that coffee, as a matter of fact. And $14.99, that's like some gourmet, like good coffee. I can get like a couple of bags of like bean coffee for that. You just treated me to some like nice like gourmet stuff. Thank you. This is instant. I've got like these little Starbucks packets that I pour them in there, and then I have this like local brand that I pour in there just to give it like a little bit of flavor. So that this is just instant. So it's not the gourmet stuff.
Super chat.
The Reaper 777 says, if you delete videos, do you lose the views and watch time from your totals? Yes. If you delete videos that were previously public, and basically, you had the setting to where it was public, and then you unlist those videos or you delete those videos, then you lose your public watch time and your public views for those particular videos. So as an example, if you're one of the people, if you're in here, let me know actually, if you're on that that grind to try to get, monetized here on YouTube, let me know right here in the chat. Just say me. But basically, if you are on that grind and you're like, hey, I'm trying to get that 1,000 so I can get the partner program, do not delete anything off of your channel that has accumulated watch time. Because, if it's accumulated watch time, then you need that in order to cross through that threshold of 1,000. So make sure that you don't delete until you go ahead and cross it. And then you make enough watch time on the back end after you cross it to basically balance it out if you delete that video.
Super chat.
Neil Urban Explorer says 12 months on my channel. I'm 1,600 subs, monetized, and have sponsors I chose. Thanks to Nick and Learning. Nice work. And your van build, you're like a beast with the van build. I'm following that passively, right? Because I'm not engaging much. But I on the internet right now, just in general, I'm not engaging much. So I'm like, I took like 3 days off this week just to like give myself a break. But I'm back on the horse again next week, but I just needed a break. But yeah, like your van builds are nuts.
Super chat.
High Value Life says, hey Nick, how to transfer Audacity audio to YouTube. You don't transfer Audacity audio to YouTube, you transfer the audio to your editing software or your editing app. And then you render that out and then you upload that to YouTube. So basically the process, if you're new to making content, is you have your video that, you have your camera, whatever it is that you're using that records the video. And then you export that video into something like Audition or Audacity. That's where you remove noise, or maybe you add some EQ or some additional processing to it. And then you render that back out again. And then you attach it to the video, make sure that everything's synced up. And then you render that video out and then you upload it to YouTube. So it's a few extra steps, but it's totally worth it so that you can make sure that you're getting awesome audio in your videos.
Super chat.
Babaroga says, new creator, loving the advice and the community you have built here. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. Always awesome to get feedback like that. Always feels good when people are like, hey, good job. All right. All right. Next question that we have here is let's see here. We got that one from the sewing business. Okay. So the next one here is the Exploring with the J show. And the goal of the channel is to gain subs. And the question is, can I be a mod? So for the moderators are people that that I know and people that I already trust because I know those people. They've been in the community, or I've had a lot of conversations with them, off of YouTube and that sort of thing. So because of that, the moderation, thing is not open at this point in time, but I appreciate your offer. Aston Regis, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. I hope that you're grinding through those all that tutorial content that you recorded. Still blown away by that. So just as some context here, just in case you're not sure of the reference that I'm saying. So basically, Aston, he recorded, I think it was last week or the week before, he recorded like 140 something or 170 something Premiere tutorials over the course of a week, so that he can get a bunch of content out there. It's incredible. Okay, so the type of channel is helping people make great videos through tutorials, gear reviews, and video creation. The goal of the channel is to upload 1,000 valuable videos that to help people make great videos. And the question is, hey, Nick, been taking yours and Roberto's advice on thumbnails, so thank you. Looking to move from TubeBuddy Pro to Legend for the A/B thumbnail testing. How much would you say this feature has helped you grow your channel, and could you show some examples, please? Many thanks. Keep up the great work. Yeah, absolutely. So basically, when it comes to the thumbnails, it can be a game changer, because basically the idea is you are able to define with their A/B testing. I'd have to log into my TubeBuddy account right now. Maybe I can send you some stuff on Twitter if you want to DM me there. But basically, like the awesome thing about the TubeBuddy's A/B testing tools, it swaps them back and forth. And in addition to letting you know which one got the higher click-through rate, it also lets you know which one generated more watch time per impression as well. So you get all of the information you need to make the right decision. Now, if we take that up a notch, let's say that you are targeting search with some of the content that you're putting out, which I'm guessing for your type of content you will be. So another thing that they'll tell you is that like in search, this particular thumbnail got more clicks on it compared to home pages, or on home pages it got more, or suggested got more. But basically, you have that information at your fingertips when you do the A/B testing. Roberto Blake in the house. What is up? You just reminded me actually to drop this link here into Facebook. So un momento, por favor, so that I can do this really quick. Here is a link for anyone who wants to join the stream. All right. Yeah, I almost completely forgot about that. Okay, so next question that we have here on the list. The next question on the list. Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. What's up, man? Scully's House of Thrillers. What is going on? Eric Waite's Whiskey Study. Happy Independence Day. That's right. 4th of July. See, I'm in Thailand. So even though like in my brain, it's like, yeah, 4th of July, 4th of July. Remember to talk about the 4th of July and wish Americans a happy 4th of July in your live stream. I sit down here, I go live, and it completely went out of my brain. So thank you for that reminder. Happy 4th of July to the Americans that are watching the stream today. Hope you enjoy some fireworks tonight. Make sure that you, get your social distancing on when you are out there, around all the other firework goers. Wear a mask, all that good stuff. To hear something funny. I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, so the Gen X Xennial is the channel name here, and they upload 1 time per week or more. Let's see here. The goal of the channel is hobby, posterity, and foster a friendly discussion. And the question is title length over 70 characters actually bad? No, it's not actually bad. Like, the thing is, when you are writing your titles, and everybody needs to pay attention to this right here. Like, if you're like doing something else while you're listening to this in the background, just a quick thing that I just want to make sure to share is when you're writing titles, make sure that the most important thing, the thing that's going to grab people's attention, the thing that's going to grab a human being's attention is as close to the front of your title as possible. Ideally, it's within the first 50 characters of the title. The reason for that is because YouTube cuts off the titles in some places. So let's say, for example, let's say that you're making videos on, like you're doing like MacBook Pro reviews, right? And within your MacBook Pro reviews, you have this big long title, and it's like, 8 things that you never knew that you needed to know about a MacBook Pro, right? And let's say that your thumbnail isn't necessarily crystal clear that it's about a MacBook Pro. And because of that, the MacBook Pro ends up getting cut off, and the thumbnail doesn't really give tons of context into what the thing's actually about. And because of that, the people that you're trying to reach with the MacBook Pros, they don't know that that video is for them because they can't easily identify it. However, if you're like, 8 MacBook Pro things that you never, or 8 MacBook Pro hacks that you never knew that you needed to know, then in that situation, still it's a long title. I'm not sure how many characters that would be, but that's still a long title. But the thing that would matter the most to the viewer, right, to the potential viewer, the potential person that might click and come in and watch your video and become a part of what it is that you're doing, those people will be able to identify that it's for them because it's one of the first things that they see when they actually look at that title. So you want to take the whatever it is that your compelling element with your thumbnail and the thing that's going to let the people know that it's for them, you want to make sure that both of those are towards the front because those are the things that matter the most. And then after that, you can put, you can just fill out the box if you want. But the idea is to make sure that you're putting the most important elements as close to the front of your title as possible because that's the area that grabs attention.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Aston Regis, welcome to the channel membership, my man. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook that you join the members only Facebook group. Just look for Nimminati VIP. In the community feed, there's actually a video on color grading. In the description of that video, that you'll also find the link going directly to the Facebook group as well. All right, Blue Eyed Tech, what's up, dude? Okay, so next up on the list here, we've got Action Hannah 55. Action Hannah 55 says the goal is to entertain people and share my experiences. The question is, I'm looking to upgrade my computer to a better one. Do I need the extra quality or should I try to make videos with what I already have? Try to make videos with what you already have now. As you progress, Jeffrey Eatley, what's up, dude? As you progress through the process, right? As you get more and more serious over time about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, upgrade as you need it. So it's really easy. I did a collaboration series with Jevin Dovey, and he talked about gear acquisition syndrome. That was my first time ever hearing anybody mention that. And after he said it, I'm like, oh my God, I have gear acquisition syndrome. And basically what it is that you go and you get all of this stuff thinking, and let me know if you have this, if you deal with this sort of thing yourself, let me know in the chat. But basically the thing is you get all these things thinking, right? Like when you're at that moment of purchase, it's like, oh, I know if I get this, then I'll be able to make better videos. Or if I get this, I'll be able to make more videos. Or if I do this, I'll be able to make videos on the go. If I get this today, then hey, I'll be able to make videos on the go. So if back when I got this, right? Hey, if I get this, I'll be able to make videos with this at conferences because I can just slide it in my pocket. Guess how many videos I made at this at conferences? None, zero. I actually forgot it in my hotel room almost every single day. But basically getting gear for the sake of getting gear is gear acquisition syndrome. But the idea when it comes to upgrading what it is that you're doing on YouTube is you want to make sure that all your upgrades, unless you just like spending money, you want to make sure that all the upgrades that you do on your YouTube channel are, you know, that you're thinking it through, and you're thinking through like, okay, if I do an upgrade, if I get my computer, for example, if I'm going to upgrade my computer, then I need to make sure that I get a computer that can edit 4K because I got to future proof myself. I got to make sure I get a computer that can edit 4K, that can edit, you know, like multiple tracks. You know, I got to get a powerful, you know, laptop that's going to be able to handle that. Or I got to get a, you know, a good app for my phone, or I got to get a, you know, like an iPad, you know, with editing software on it so that I can, or editing apps on it so I can do it that way. But you know, it's important to just make sure that you are, as you're upgrading, that you can make sure that you're actually going to get the value out of whatever upgrade it is that you that you have. ASMR Dream More says ideas versus gear. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, oh, I got the yeah, I'll definitely be able to do this. Or man, if I could just get that new lens, it'll just make the videos look so awesome. And then you get the lens and you don't even use it on the computer or you don't even use it on your camera that much because you didn't realize how impractical it is to be swapping your lenses out all the time when it's on a stationary thing sitting right over there. Brick advice. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do Lego how-to content. The goal of the channel is to help people build their Lego knowledge. The question is, how do I know if my channel trailer is gaining subs for my channel? So basically what you want to do is you want to go into your YouTube analytics, and inside of your analytics, you want to go to your videos tab. Under your videos tab, you want to find your channel trailer. And then once you go inside of your channel trailer, you can just click on the audience tab and you'll be able to see how many subscribers that particular trailer has generated. So if you want to, you can do fun things like you can, you know, do 2 different trailers if you want, or 3 different trailers, and you can have them, you know, for certain date ranges. You can say, okay, for this month, I'm going to do this one. For the next month, I'm going to do this one. For the following month, I'm going to do this one. And then you can actually figure out which one, you know, converts better for you if you know, would like to do that. But most of the subscribers that you get are going to come from your video watch page, not from your channel trailer. But the channel trailers, you know, they're good to have. Like if you're a content creator for the sake of being a content creator and you're not like selling stuff or anything like that, then having a channel trailer that just gives people context into what it is that you're doing is a fantastic approach, because your goal at that point is, you know, of course, to grow the channel. So because of that, you know, having a nicely see, I told you my words were going to be all messed up, but having a nicely tuned, you know, channel trailer can, you know, it's just one more small advantage that you give yourself.
Super chat.
Real and Fish says, what's the best free paid paid software for thumbnails, also for photo editing? So I recommend the Adobe Creative Suite. Like if you're a creative person or you're a content creator and you're doing this type of thing, if you use the Adobe Creative Suite, then you have Photoshop, you have video editing software, you have audio processing software, you have full access to like all the apps that they have and things like that. So I personally, I build all of my thumbnails in Photoshop. In addition to that, you can also build like video graphics if you need them for your videos and that sort of thing. So because of that, paid would be, you know, the whole Adobe Creative Suite, but at least Photoshop for thumbnails. Now, when it comes to options, you can also use something like Affinity Photo as well. That's just like a one-time fee. If you're not already familiar with Adobe products, then you could use that Affinity Photo, and you can use that on like a tablet or on a computer or whatever, and you can make, you know, fully custom thumbnails on there. It's pretty much just like Photoshop, but it just doesn't have all the interconnectivity with all the other, you know, apps like Adobe does. Now, in addition to that, free options that you have for thumbnails are Pixel. Man, I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's Pix something. Man, I don't sleep well after. No, I don't. Let's see here. It's not Pixelar. Man, why am I? Oh, it is. Nope, it's not Pixelar. But Pixelar would do the trick, it looks like. But they have pricing there too. But anyway, yes, no, it's not Pixel Lab, not that, not PixArt. Oh, normally it's like right on the top of my tongue, tip of my tongue. However, we got PixArt, nope. Pixel Lab, nope. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's like pick something. But it's a great solution. It's basically like a web-based Photoshop. Yeah, Canva is also good. Canva has, and GIMP is also good. Yeah, we got some community stuff coming in here. Yeah, we're talking about thumbnails specifically. Man, why can't why this is gonna drive me nuts. Hold on. Tuber tools. Yeah, it's pick something. Photo P, Allie Burns. Yes, Photo P. It's not even Pix, it's Photo P. That's it. Thank you. All right. So Photo P, it's a web-based version of Photoshop. It's kind of like it's not like the most recent, version of Photoshop, what it would be, but it's like a really good version of, being able to do most of the things that you need to do to make good thumbnails inside of that particular app. Thanks for helping me workshop that, guys. For helping me, work through that one. That was a doozy. Woo, Photo P. PHOTOPEA.com. Whew. PEA, Eric, wait. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think yours is a totally different website there, Eric. Okay, so next up, so we got Brick Advice here. I think we got this one. Yep, we did. Okay, so next up on our list here is from the Gaming Resume. Cool name. And the question is, the goal of the channel is to provide entertainment, but also to build a community around gaming that is as passionate as we are. The question is it possible to have a reaction content as well as gaming content, aka streams on YouTube, and grow organically? Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible to have a complete variety channel and still grow your channel. However, if you want to fast track things and you want to get results as fast as you possibly can, focusing on one type of content for a specific type of audience is going to, in almost all cases, is going to fast track that journey for you compared to just randomly putting out whatever. Now, the only bonus of randomly putting out whatever is if you're making like entertainment viral type of content, like stuff that, has the potential to go viral. In that situation, pretty much all the stuff that you're putting out is, that type of content anyway. So, that gives you a little bit more freedom. But if you're doing things like gaming, reactions, that kind of stuff, I would just pick one and stay in that lane, or do multiple channels, one with the reactions, one with the gaming content. Next up on the list, we've got Patch Answer Gaming. I'm uploading videos so people know how to get better. Wait a minute, we did this one already. Okay, yeah, we did him already. Jen Kokoska Yoga says that they have a yoga how-to channel. The goal of the channel is to build a library of videos for online and offline students and build a long-term, financially successful and sustainable online business. I love that. The question is, happy 4th. Happy 4th to you also, Jen. Jen. It says Jen and I have actively been uploading. Sorry. So I guess you're not Jen. So Jen and I have actively been uploading for 2 months and have been creating a consistent look to our thumbnails and channel. We'd like your feedback, please, on a strategy that we're planning to implement for our new content. To create an hour-long class that focuses on lower back pain, for example, and then 3 to 4 shorter videos, about 5 to 10 minutes, that focus on aspects covered in the longer class, like variations and detailed explanations of postures covered in class thoughts. I think that's a great approach. And the reason that I think it's a great approach is because if you are making some content on your channel that is short form content, easily consumable, it's easy for people to make that quick spur of the moment decision to click on it and search or on a homepage because they have 5 minutes to spare. That's fantastic as one of the types of content that you're putting out. Having the longer form content on there as well is also a win, because in that situation, you're taking people through more of an in-depth experience. So because of that, I think that your approach is fantastic. Now, one thing that I do want to bring to your attention, though, that it wasn't necessarily based on your question, is that you talked about having like a consistent look in your thumbnails and your channel. That's fantastic that you're taking that branded approach, and you should. However, just make sure that you're testing to make sure that if you're using like templates for your thumbnails, for example, to make sure that the templates that you're using are effective. So experiment right now, like as you're getting going, because you guys have been going for 2 months now. So if you're getting like a little bit of traction at all or a lot of traction, experiment. So even though you typically put out thumbnails that look a certain way, experiment to see if you can find a better version. And if you can find a better version, and I'm not saying you have to, change everything, but if you can find a better version, then of course you would want to lean on that better version and make sure that you're making a majority of them like that. Instead of the older version, right? So having that consistent branded look in terms of like, this is the text we're using, this is the treatment that we're putting on the photos, this is the typical colors that we use, that's fine. Then with that, you can get as creative as you want in that situation. But if you're like, hey, we use this particular template and, all we do here is we change the text and we don't do anything else, we just have that template, then in that situation, you definitely need to make sure that you are testing those, because you don't want to stick with the template just because it makes the channel look good from the outside if it's not effective. So you got to make sure that anything that you're doing in that situation on the branding side of things, you have to make sure that in addition to it looking good and representing the brand properly, you also have to make sure that it's effective, because looking good isn't going to do you any good if you're not getting people to click on it, right? So because of that, just make sure that what you're doing is effective also as you're putting that all together. But yeah, in terms of your strategy for that, I think that's a great approach. You're also pulling in people that like to consume that type of content in different ways as well. So all the way around, yeah, it's a win. I think that's a fantastic approach. VB Gaming 20 says that they do mobile gaming content. The goal of the channel is to entertain people and earn money. Earning money. I need a cha-ching thing here. Maybe I'll replace that one with like a cha-ching. Okay, so to entertain people and earn money. So the question is, since I upload from record, edit, render, and upload from mobile, is there any steps that I could do to earn more views? It all comes down to your content. It all comes down to your content and how you package that content. And what I mean by package is your title and your thumbnail. Okay. So in terms of, the things that you can do on your phone, really sit down, open up your notepad, right? If you have a phone, open up your notepad on your phone or whatever, note-taking app that you have. If you don't have a note-taking app on your phone, then open up like Google Docs or something like that. Literally every single video that you upload, and everybody should do this. Every single video that you upload, write like 10 to 15 titles for it. 10 to 15 titles, every single video that you upload. And that's if you're being conservative. If you like really want to make sure that you're getting it, write a lot more than that, but write 10 to 15 titles for every single video that you upload. And literally, as you're writing them out, just think, okay, how can I make this better? How can I make this more clear? How can I make this, what am I, can I add something to this to make it more compelling? Can I have like a stronger impact word here? This particular word that I'm using, can I swap that out for something that has a lot more impact? It's just stronger language. So when somebody sees it and they're reading it, it has a stronger impact and it pulls them in more, right? So write out your titles like that. Also, if you're doing stuff on your phone, make sure that you are doing the same exact thing with your thumbnails, that you're just spending time making sure that it's clear what your video is about. And instead of just whipping a thumbnail together, look at it, think it through. Okay, I'm on my phone, I'm making this. So, I've got these obstacles that I have to overcome. However, I can still make an awesome thumbnail. So because of that, I need to make sure that it's clear what the video is about. I need to make sure that I'm not putting things on there that don't need to be on there. And I need to make sure that there's a thing that I'm focusing people on in the thumbnail and that sort of thing. So even though you're a mobile content creator, you can still do the same stuff that people can do on computer. You just might have to, work it out with your thumbs compared to working it out with a mouse. Let's see here. Karma, what's up, dude? Yeah, I think that cha-ching sound effect. Yeah, I think that would be good as well. ASMR Dream More says, "Hey, you need coffee?" Nope. I'm about halfway through now. Okay, let's see here. Next up, we've got Dapper Tiger. Dapper Tiger says they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The channel is reselling items online to make money on the side. And the goal of the channel is to help others create an easy side income to support themselves during a time of uncertainty. It's good. It's a good mission there. It says, hey, Nick, do you think that YouTube favors relative view time percentage more than absolute view time? I've had larger channels tell me to push for longer videos as I grow my channel, 20 plus minutes. My best performing videos are under 10 minutes, and I don't want to pad my videos with excess. I could definitely plan to produce longer content, and I've been experimenting with a couple of 12-minute videos. The view duration minutes are higher, but the overall percentage is under 50 to 60. Under the 50 to 60 I'm used to. Thanks for the guidance. I've already grown tremendously with with your help. High five and fist bump. High five, fist bump to you back. So when it comes to the thing that you want to make sure that you are looking at, you're looking at the total watch time that you're accumulating on a video. That's what's important. So of course, the percentage viewed is also sort of an indicator of like the quality, because if somebody watches 100%, then it's clearly a good video if they watched 100% of the video, right? But what YouTube is looking for is the total watch time that you're accumulating. I just did an interview with Tom, who is formerly now of the Creator Insiders channel. And that video will be coming out on my channel sometime in the near future. But basically, one of the things that that I asked him in there was that specific thing. And, I'm like, hey, the big debate is, which should you care about most? And he's like, look, just go for total watch time. Go for total watch time. Go for minutes watched. And of course, in addition to that, there's a bunch of, additional factors when it comes to YouTube, because, like, even though you might get a lot of watch time, if people aren't clicking on it that much, then of course that would also limit the video. So you have to, it's a balance of all of the things. But when it comes to the video content itself, you want to make sure that you're going for, you're getting as much watch time as possible. Now, in terms of making your videos longer as your channel grows, it doesn't matter if your channel's, big or your channel's small. The length of your videos should be however long your videos need to be. So of course, I think it's storming outside. So of course, when you are putting your content together, like you're saying, you don't want to pad a video just for the sake of making it a longer video. Now, the reason probably that they're telling you that you should make those longer videos is because you can make more money on them. So if you're going all in, you're like, hey, I'm trying to get as much ad revenue as possible, then those longer videos are going to help you get additional income, because you get to put additional ad placements at the end. And then if you want to, you can also put one in the middle as well if you want to do that. But it's not something that, just because you make a longer video doesn't mean that people are going to respond to it more. It also doesn't mean that YouTube is going to show it to more people just because it's longer, right? It all comes down to the response. So because of that, when you're putting out your content and you're typically doing great with the shorter videos, keep making those, but experiment with the other stuff. And what you're going to find on your channel is you're going to find that, hey, when I make content that is, ballpark of this length, then that's kind of like a sweet spot, right? And then you'll want to double down on that, as long as it fits into, your overall strategy with what you're doing with your videos. That was weird. Like, it almost sounded like something was leaking for a second. That was ooh. Yeah, that was kind of, what was that? Maybe something just fell. I don't know what that was. Huh. All right. So let's see here. No, I do not own TubeBuddy. Okay, yeah, maybe it is a ghost. Ooh, it's the 4th of July ghost. They're coming for me. Why aren't you in America? Yeah, the 4th of July ghosts always come after me on the 4th of July. I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm afraid of the 4th of July ghosts. The 4th of July ghosts of 4th of July is past. Yeah, I'm okay. This is literally like my 8th cup of coffee today. So that's why I'm a little bit squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, now if D was here, man, we'd be like way off on a conversation right now, because I'm easily misled today because I've had so much coffee. Okay, so back on the task at hand here. So let's see here. Dapper Tiger says, thanks so much for your help. My pleasure. I'm glad that answered that for you. Next up, we've got Janko. I think I skipped one. Let me back up. Nope. Okay, so next up, we've got Janko Production. And Janko Production says that the goal of the channel is I enjoy making videos from games and being creative with Minecraft movies. That sounds cool. And the question is, hey there, I'd like to ask you how to get back into YouTube. Several years back, I skyrocketed on YouTube, but I had no time left. So I left YouTube in best time, I would say. Now I still have over 15,000 subscribers. But my videos have at best 2,000 impressions, and they have high click-through rate, watch time, but still no suggestions. How is that possible? Thanks for the answer and have a nice day. So if you are just getting back into uploading to your channel, the problem that you're running into is that before you had those 15,000 people that were continually interacting with your content, or at least, coming in over the course of, maybe 30-day period, and you were fresher with them because they were interacting with what it is that you're doing. So now, a few years later, you have all these other people that have started channels similar to yours that have taken that attention away from what it is that you're doing. And you just don't have those people that are like, you know, a lot of people that are being active in your content right now. So when you're publishing a video, then the thing that is, hey, the artist Haven, what's up? So the thing that's happening is when you are publishing the content, now, of course, YouTube's trying to find the right people for it, but they just don't have as much fresh, recent data to show your content to people that have already been proven to enjoy your channel. They have some because people are still coming into your channel, but it's just not in mass because you're not, you know, you're not freshly uploading content. You're not in that cycle, so to speak. So because of that, just stay on the path and keep doing your thing. Keep, publishing on a regular basis, keep making that content that people dig, and you'll get back on track. You'll be fine. ASMR Dream More says, hey, when is your brother coming back? I don't know. So we just started opening things up here in Thailand. We just started opening things up on the 1st to like medical tourism and like that sort of thing. So it's not just, normal tourists or like anything like that. So they're being very strict on who they're letting in because we don't have any local transmissions here. So because of that, they're being really strict on who they let in. So it'll probably be, another month, maybe 2 before he can possibly get back. Which sucks, but it is what it is.
Super
Tax Shack Tom Curry says, hey, quick one, Nick. When will you be doing courses? I already am. I've actually had, for like 3 weeks now, I've been like, hey, I'm going into beta like next week. And I always have a reason that I'm not in beta yet. But this week, I really think that I'm going into beta this coming week. So it's right around the corner. So after that beta period is finished, that'll be 2 weeks to 30 days, depending on how fast people go through it and the feedback that I get and how quickly I can implement that feedback. But let's say like after I go into beta, then another 2 weeks to 4 weeks from that point to actually open it up to the public. I've had to redo stuff a bunch of times, and basically like what I'm doing is I'll like make it and I have my plan. I'm like, okay, if somebody's going through this, then, if I mention this thing and they, are learning that, then when I get to this, is that still going to make sense? Do I have to reintroduce it and so on and so forth? And I've had to like remake, several videos because I'll make them and then I'll get them up there and then I'll sit there and I'll watch and then I'll, sit there and watch them, like a few days later. And I'll be like, you know what, I could say that so much better. And I could say that in a more clear way and all that stuff. So just keep pushing the thing back. Okay. So Janko Production, we've already got that one already. So next up on the list, it's me, Nova Art. Hey, it's me, Nova Art. What's up, Nova Art? So basically, the channel is an art channel where I share my art with other people. The goal of the channel is sharing my art and bringing happiness to people looking at my videos. And the goal of the question, need more coffee. So the goal of the question is, how do I make my view count more consistent? Some of my videos get a lot of views, but others stay very low. How do I change this? Is there anything I can do? Absolutely, there is. Go in and start looking. The videos that have performed well, go in and start trying to figure out why they performed well. Now, when you're trying to figure this out, you have to start with making theories. Now, once you make those theories, then you have to start putting those theories to the test. But typically, one of the very top things that will make a video perform better than another is just the topic. So like if you are making art of a specific thing and you're framing the packaging in a certain way, then in that situation, you want to look and you want to say the videos, all of them that did well, what was going on with those videos? What were they actually about? What did the thumbnails look like? What did the titles, what did I say in the title specifically? How were the titles actually structured? Like what's going on, right? What is it that's going on with those videos that performed well compared to the ones that didn't? And you just lean on the things that are performing well, because unfortunately, just making videos and just throwing videos out there, you can grow a channel that way. But the best way to do it, if you want to accelerate things, is that you identify the content that's performing, and then you double down on making more content that is proven to perform for the people that YouTube thinks is the best fit for your content, because that's who they're showing your content to, right? So because of that, you need to make sure that you're identifying those things that work and saying this works. This brings people in. People click when I make this type of video. YouTube is showing it to a certain group of people that's responding to the way that I'm doing it with this type of content that I'm putting out. So I need to make sure that I'm making more of that specific type of content. Let's see here. Albert Tech going to Mexico next month. ASMR Dream More says, you live alone. I actually live with my girlfriend. Masked Beast says, Nick, I make gaming videos, but the problem is though, I make vids on popular topics searched and ranked in it. don't get views. Okay, so if you're making gaming videos, but the problem is that they're popular topics and you are just not getting views, then in that situation, what's happening is just people aren't responding to what it is that you're doing, or you're going for, if you are trying to get your videos in search, you're going for things that are more competitive. Stephanie Marie says, watch Daryl resurrect his channel. Okay, next up on the list, we've got, nope. Do you like that? Do you like that follow up there? Okay, so next up we've got Mess Jane T says they upload when they have time. It's a gaming commentary channel. The goal of the channel is to make people laugh. The question is, I've been uploading videos weekly. I need like an audio track so that I can do it like it's a deep thought and like answer or like read all the questions in like a deep thought type of tone. But I've been uploading videos weekly for a year, but I recently started working a 9-to-5 job, so I found it's harder to find time to work making videos. Do you have any suggestions to help me produce content faster, but also good quality for my viewers? Absolutely. So one of the things that you can do in that situation is that you batch create content. So when it comes to batch creating content, what that means is every time you make a video, if possible, if the type of content that you make supports doing this with gaming commentary, it does. When you make one video, sit down and actually make 2 videos instead of just making 1. So basically you can do this in a bunch of different ways based on your schedule, but you can actually like record like 2 videos and like, let's say over the course of a week, right? You record like 2 or 3 videos on one day, and then you start editing those videos down when you have that spare time. And then by the end of the week, because you're sitting there, working on them when you have that spare time, you by the time the week's finished, you have 3 videos. Now, what you want to do in that situation is you actually want to publish 2 and then save 1 for that following week. And by doing that, you start to get a queue build up. Now, as you get that queue build up, the win for that is that as you're getting that queue build up, in the event that because you're busy, you can't upload or you can't record or you can't do anything like that, you have that queue to help absorb that busy time to where you still have that content to go out. And then as soon as you get that, a little bit of free time again, then you can start, batching again to, kind of fill up the queue again.
Super chat.
Talk CPT says, do small old channels do worse than new channels? No. So basically all it takes on YouTube, all it takes is a video, just one video that gets a fairly decent response that people click on and watch for a fair amount of time. They further engage. Maybe they even subscribe to your channel, things like that from that one particular video. That one video by itself, like if you have an old channel and you have a new channel, both of those channels put out the same video and it gets the same type of response, the same exact type of thing is going to happen regardless of if the channel's old or new. So because of that, it really comes down to how people are responding to the actual content itself, not the age of the channel. Now, one thing I can tell you though, is like if you just have a brand new channel, right? And you have that video number 1, in that situation, YouTube might not necessarily know who the right people are for that content yet, depending on how you're optimizing everything. Like when you're actually putting your metadata together and all that, and depending on what the actual is happening in the video, if you're actually talking and they can identify what the video is about, that kind of thing. So because of that, a new channel might have a little bit more of a difficult time just giving YouTube context. So they might have to make a few more videos in order for the system to really understand what's going on, as long as they're optimizing correctly. To whereas an old channel, because it's an old channel and they've been putting out content, or let's say they've taken a break and they're coming back to it, or it's just an old channel, then if it's an old channel and it doesn't have any content on it, but it's an old channel, then they're going to have to go through the same troubles in terms of, just context of what's the content about, what's the channel about, all that stuff, and making sure that everything they're uploading is clearly optimized so that their systems can identify what it is, and so that humans can identify what it is, so that as the humans respond to it, YouTube can take note of that, and then YouTube can start trying to show it to more people that are like the people that are responding to it.
Super chat.
Primate, cool name, says 4,000 hours watch time achieved versus 330 subs. Tips for converting views to subscribers. First off, high five fist bump for the 4,000 hours. So when it comes to converting viewers into subscribers, the very first thing, of course, is to make sure that you are asking people to subscribe. When you're asking people to subscribe, don't just say, hey, subscribe. You want to make sure that you're telling them exactly why they should subscribe by letting them know what it is that you're offering on your YouTube channel. So for example, if you are doing let's see here. What was your channel again? If you're doing Primate, if you're doing like gaming content, I'll just do that. If you're doing like gaming content, then letting them know, hey, for more, to get more, to get more walkthroughs, just like the one you just watched, make sure you remember to subscribe to the channel. Right. So what you're doing in that situation is you're letting them know you're basically throwing the value that they're going to get out of your channel at them, and then you're inviting them to subscribe. In addition to that, if you look at my videos, you'll see how I use little graphics that pop up to remind people to subscribe. That can also help. You can also use a branding watermark, which is basically the little thing that you're going to see probably, I think it's right down in this area right here, as long as this isn't mirrored. So that also converts that into a button as well, because as long as you just upload that, it can be anything, but like it can be your logo or whatever that you upload into that spot. But when you upload that, then that's just one more feature that is there to remind people to subscribe when you turn it into an actual subscribe button instead of just like a logo, for example. So those are some things that you can do. In addition to that, of course, one of the things that you can also test with your channel is actually letting people know towards the beginning of the video what it is that you actually offer. So you don't want to do it right when your video opens up. You want to give them a little bit of the type of content that you have, but then let them know specifically, exactly what it is that you're, just look at my video as an example, right? I'm like, hey, if you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell. You want to take an approach like that to where you have the value of what it is that they're going to get from you, and then you remind them to subscribe. But you want to give them a little bit of content first before you do that.
Super chat.
Tax Shack Tom Curry says, can you talk on membership? What are the benefits? So benefits are you get these like cool little emojis that you can use. In addition to that, you get this little play button next to your name here on YouTube. Also, there's some stuff inside of the community feed for you. I've got like a video in there, maybe 2 videos in there. But I've also got like, a Photoshop template to where if you download that template, you can actually screenshot like a YouTube homepage and like a video watch page. And I have like a smart object built into there to where you can open it up, drop your thumbnail in there, and it'll actually show you what it looks like on the platform, so you can compare it and see how it stands out against other videos. In addition to that, I've got other freebies that I've loaded into the Facebook group. The Facebook group is an additional benefit to where people are basically just hanging out, talking about YouTube inside of there, asking specific questions about what it is that they're doing or celebrating milestones, that kind of stuff. Let's see here, what else? A monthly live stream as well, which I'll probably be doing probably this week, actually, this coming week. So the monthly live stream and just, occasional freebies and that kind of stuff as well. So that's the win when it comes to the channel membership. All right. So next up on the list, we've got Donkey Com. Donkey Com says they do education how-to content. The goal of the channel is to grow a community and to bring people to my free program. Question is, Smarter Tomorrow saying comments over coffee is great. Thank you. Glad that you're enjoying my podcast. I got a link to it down in the description below for anybody that likes to listen to podcasts. It's basically where I share information about YouTube over a cup of coffee. So it's pretty much short form content to help you learn more about YouTube. Okay. So now the goal is to grow a community, bring people to the free program. The question is, hey, Nick, I love your content. Regarding titles, tags, descriptions, and thumbnails, is it bad to update them after posting? Like a few days and seeing what your tags rank for? Can that be both good and bad for your optimization? Thanks. So like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're committing. So go ahead and, put your titles in there, put your description in there, put your tags in there, put all of that stuff in there so that you can make sure that you are optimizing your videos correctly from the start, so you don't have to go in and change anything. Now, down the road, like maybe a week later or a few days later, you might want to go and look and say, okay, is there any, additional tags that I might be able to add to this or whatever? But I mean, those additional tags aren't really going to make a big deal for you. They're not going to really necessarily move the needle. So because of that, just focus on packaging it up correctly and optimizing everything correctly before you even publish it. And then you don't even have to think about it, right? The video's done, bam, move on, right? So do that instead. Next up, we've got Tier Talk. Tier Talk says they have a channel dedicated to prison and jail staff. The goal of the channel is to bring recognition to a great profession. And the question is, what is the best way to motivate people to be engaged in your channel without seeming desperate? One is don't care if they engage or not. That's one. But two is to actually make it easy for people to engage. So what I mean by that And what I meant by don't care is, like you won't seem desperate if you're like, you know what, I really don't, like if they comment, cool. If they don't comment, that's cool too. then you wouldn't be desperate, right? But in terms of, getting people to leave you more comments or getting people to give you more, thumbs up or shares or whatever it happens to be, just put a reason in front of it. Make sure that you're actually telling them to do it, that you put a reason in front of it so that they can just take a simple action to accomplish that thing. So as an example, if you're enjoying this stream right now, if you're learning anything at all, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Okay. And seriously, give this video a thumbs up right now. But the idea there is that I just simply say, if you're enjoying this video, right? If you're learning something, give this video a thumbs up right now. So what I did there is I'm like, hey, if you're getting something out of this, then your response to the statement that I'm making is just simply click that button to give it a thumbs up. So by doing that, all you're doing is you're making it easy for people to take that action by kind of leading them into it by having that value that they're getting out of the front, right? And you're using it as like a feedback tool. Now, in terms of comments, a great way to start generating more comments is to simply say something that they can answer in the comments. So as an example, let me know in the chat right now if you get a lot of comments on your channel. Just put yes if you get a lot of comments, put no if you don't get a lot of comments on your channel. I'm just curious. But basically, like when you are when you're asking people to do stuff, like in the situation that I just did right there in terms of asking people, hey, if you are getting this or you're not getting this, let me know in the chat. Then all people have to do, like right now, we're getting a lot of yeses, a lot of nos. But all you have to do in that situation is you just have to go into the comment section, and you can see it working right there, is you go into the comment section or into the chat in this situation, and people just have to say like yes or no. That's it. They don't have to, figure out what it is that they want to say. It's just a simple answer to a question. So what you want to do when you are making your videos is you want to build in things that people can easily answer. So as an example, let's say if I was making a video right now and I was like, hey, and one of the ways that, or one of the things that you could do with your iPhone as well is you can also use it as a video camera so that you can make sure that you're actually shooting B-roll when you're out and about in the world. Maybe you're shooting B-roll of yourself. If you actually shoot B-roll of yourself with your phone or any other thing, but you are your B-roll, let me know in the comments, right? And then all people have to do in that situation is they just have to think, okay, am I somebody that shoots B-roll of myself? Yes or no? Down in the comments, no, I don't. Yes, I do shoot B-roll of myself. Some people will talk about it longer. Some people will just answer the question simply. But the idea is just to simply make it easy for people to leave a comment. And the idea behind that is because if you are just saying, leave a comment, then what you're doing is you're opening it up to where somebody's on the spot, right? Well, gosh, I could leave a comment about anything. I could leave a comment about, this coffee I'm drinking. I could leave a comment about, this pen. I could leave a comment about, the day that I've had. I could leave a comment about, something that you're doing in your video, even that's not related to anything you want me to leave a comment about. But you create this situation where all of this energy has to be expelled in order for a comment to be left. But if you just simply, make it easy for people and lead them into the comment to where all they have to do is answer a question, then it's super easy for people to engage. And it can even be fun because, in that situation, it doesn't take a lot of energy. It's just simple like yes or no, or, the details of, whatever your particular question was. So, the easiest way to generate more of that activity is to make it easy for people and actually invite people to take whatever actions it is to, that you want them to take.
Super chat.
Talk CPT says, my brother wants to buy subscribers. Any thoughts? Yeah, tell them that is the worst thing that they can possibly do for their YouTube channel. If they are going to do that, what they're going to do is they're going to buy a bunch of bot traffic, bots, B-O-T. And because of that, then in that situation, they're going to be getting in front of, basically dead accounts. And YouTube, once they detect those accounts, they're going to end up taking those subscribers away anyway. In addition to that, there's also services that will be like, hey, we'll put your video in front of other videos on YouTube so that we're matching the right audiences and stuff. But a lot of those services will also go for the lowest common denominator because that helps them make more money. So like, let's say that you give them X amount of dollars for that particular service and you think, hey, I'm paying for advertising. This is great. instead of taking that approach to where you would think like, hey, this is going to be fantastic, then what's actually happening is so that those companies can make the most money, they're actually targeting lower CPM areas that you might not necessarily want to be in front of, and they're still getting you in front of the wrong audience. So because of that, tell your brother to avoid that at all costs, because what he's doing is he's actually digging a hole that he's going to have to eventually dig himself out of, by buying subscribers. So absolutely avoid that at all costs. If you do want to do any type of advertising in that situation, do it all yourself. Don't use another service to do it. And if you do decide to do advertising as well, make sure that you can get an organic response first before you do any advertising, because if not, as soon as you turn off the advertising, everything's going to stop. So you still have to be able to get people to click. You still have to get people to be able to watch your content and enjoy it. And if you can't do that, then spending money isn't going to help. All right.
Super chat.
Thomas Wicker says, just joined the Nimminati last night. Welcome to Nimminati. Trying to grow my channel on UX this year and really appreciate the content. It's helped a ton. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. Welcome to the channel.
Super chat.
Oops, wrong one.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Z Hyrule Fantasy, welcome to the channel membership. Make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the questions on the way in, because that's how I actually verify that you are a channel member. Also check the community feed here as well. And by here, I mean here on YouTube. Okay, we've got that one. We've got that one. Okay, next question that we have here on the list. And if you're just joining us, by the way, I just want to let you know that I'm pulling the questions from these. I'm pulling them out of the form that is linked down in the description below this video. So if you have a question, make sure that you get it down there. And I'm answering these in the order that they are received. Okay. In addition to that, I want to remind you that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. It'll help you optimize your videos, test your thumbnails, do bulk updates, rank your videos in search, and all that good stuff. So if you haven't tried TubeBuddy yet, you can try TubeBuddy for free, the limited version of TubeBuddy for free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin, or I just have a link down in the description where you can check it out and see how TubeBuddy can help you. Okay, so yeah, I will. So Alicia, if you put that, then after this stream, I will be approving people either after the stream tonight, depending on how long I stream for, or as soon as I sit down in front of the computer, tomorrow. But make sure that, because I check it every day, so make sure that if you did submit to the Facebook group, make sure that you filled out all the questions on the way in also, because if somebody doesn't ask or doesn't answer the questions, I just automatically deny, because I have a lot of people that request to join, and if they're not a member, then of course they're not going to fill out the information. So because of that, I just go through and I'm like, okay, they didn't answer the questions, decline. So just make sure that you fill out the questions on the way in. Okay, all answered. Okay, yeah, cool. Then then I'll let you in either after the stream today, or as soon as I sit in front of the computer tomorrow. Spacebar Plays says that they do daily content. It's a gaming channel. The goal is to entertain my viewers and to give tips and tricks about Roblox games. Says, how do I increase views? Get people to click on your thumbnails and your titles. So basically, if you're wanting to increase the views on your channel, there's some things that YouTube needs from you. YouTube is trying to generate as much watch time per impression on your videos. And since they're trying to generate as much watch time per impression, what that means is every single time they show your video to somebody on the platform, they want people clicking on that and watching your videos as much as possible compared to the other videos that they're showing people on YouTube. And you have to be able to compete with the other videos on the platform in order to get your videos to surface on a regular basis. And what I mean by that is, if you are putting your content out there and you are not able to define why somebody should click on your video compared to another video on the platform, in terms of like not even looking at the video content, just looking at it from the outside, if you can't define why people should click on yours compared to all of the other videos that they're going to have in front of them on YouTube, then you need to sit there and work on that title and thumbnail until you can define why somebody should click on that compared to all of the other options that they have on YouTube, because there's so many awesome pieces of content on YouTube. There's so many people that are making like great effective thumbnails and that are writing amazing titles that get people to click. And because of that, YouTube is favoring those because they're able to get people to click on what it is that they're doing. And then the next step, of course, in order to get as much watch time per impression as possible, which is what YouTube is after, is you got to be able to keep people watching your videos for a fair amount of time. It doesn't have to be the entire video. It just has to be a fair amount of time. Now, the fun thing is depending on the actual click-through rate that you get and how much time people are watching your videos, if you have a really high click-through rate, but your average view duration isn't like really long, then you can still get crushed in views, even though people aren't watching the video for a really long time. And that's just because the watch time per impression that you're generating is high because of the amount of people that are actually clicking on the thumbnail, right? The thumbnail and the title. And the same exact thing goes in the other direction as well. If people aren't clicking on your thumbnail and title as much, but when they do, they end up watching a lot of the video and maybe even watching another video because you are watching my content and you know to make sure that you're recommending additional videos and your end screens and your pinned comments and your descriptions and all that stuff, then what's happening in that situation is even though your click-through rate might not be fantastic, you're keeping people watching for a long period of time. So you're still able to generate a lot of watch time per impression on average as well. So, you got to get good at that stuff. Like just uploading content for the sake of, just uploading it and publishing it and just like, oh, I hope I get views like that there's just so much good content on YouTube that you have to be able to compete with what is already there. Now, of course, start with what it is that you have. Of course, do the best that you can because you have to go through that learning curve in order to be able to, accomplish the thing of being able to get people to click on what it is that you're doing. But you got to make sure that you're bringing the heat, that you are able to compete here on YouTube because there's so much amazing content and you have to be at least at a competitive level. We'll say an acceptable level with what it is that you're putting out in order to be able to get a response. Leela, hey, what's up? Nice to see you here. Hope that you're doing well.
Super chat.
Andrew McNulty says, hey, any advice for how to ask others for collab for awkward people? Also, Copenhagen, Hong Kong, and Jam Bar Saturdays. Tell Robert I sent you. Nice. Yeah, I'm up in Chiang Mai. So yeah, I won't be down there for quite some time probably. Let's see here. So when it comes to asking people to collab, so the best way to get like really good collaborations, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, but the best way to get really good collaborations is to make awesome content, because the better your channel starts to do, the easier it's going to be to collaborate with people. But in addition to that, people are going to be looking at the stuff that you're doing. And if you're making good content, it's going to be a gajillion times easier to collaborate or to get people to collaborate with you compared to if the content that you're putting out is kind of like, it's okay, but it's not like awesome. Like the closer you get to awesome content, the easier it's going to be to get people to collaborate with you. Now, if we take that out of the equation, it's like, hey, I'm just wanting to collaborate with people and just, share, some of our travel experiences and like that sort of thing, then really just through email and through like Twitter and all of that is a fantastic way to reach out to people. And, like if you are awkward or, you're not wanting it to be awkward and you're more of like a, like not wanting to reach out person, like that's part of the gig. Like if you're wanting to collaborate with people, then you have to get over that and you have to, be able to reach out to people. And when you do reach out to them, have a plan in place. So instead of just like hitting them up and being like, hey, you want to collab? Like say, hey, I'm putting this video together. It is about this specific thing. And, I'm covering all of this different stuff in this video. And I think that you would be an awesome fit for this video if you would like to do a collaboration of some kind. So like when you reach out with a plan, then what you're doing in that situation is you're just blueprinting the whole thing out. This is the idea that I have. Do you want to be involved or not? Right now, one thing to keep in mind, depending on who it is that you're trying to collaborate with and what it is that they're managing in their life and their YouTube life, like another bonus with that plan is if there's somebody that's getting a lot of outreach, like there's a lot of people that are reaching out to them, then one of the things that can happen is if you shoot an email to them or you shoot them a DM on Twitter and you're like, hey, you want to collab? Well, you probably just lost that opportunity because as they're going through all those DMs, as they're going through all those emails, like they have to respond to you like, yeah, sure, I would love to. What's your idea? And then they got to like look for it and then they got to try to get context, once they do see it again. Whereas if you just outline the entire plan, you're like, hey, this is the idea that I have. Do you want in or not? then in that situation, they know right out of the gate, like, hey, yeah, is this a good fit? Maybe I'll star this particular email so I can come back to it later and talk to this person because it sounds like a great idea. So, approaching with a good idea will definitely help compared to just trying to, reach out just for general collab.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Peace of mind, relaxation music. It is relaxation music. Okay. Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure that you check the community feed here on YouTube. Also, make sure that next time you're on Facebook, you look for the Nimminati VIP Facebook group. You can also find it through the video that is on color grading that you'll see on the video watch page for channel members. There's a video there on color grading. In the description of that, there's a direct link to that Facebook group as well. But it's a members only video.
Super chat.
Duala Nuri, I hope I'm saying that right, says, I'm wondering whether to niche. I'm an adoption and birth Duala. I'm not sure what that means. However, adoption seems more popular. Been going since the 28th of April. 35 subscribers. Okay. So what I do recommend, I'm not sure what Duola is. Let me, D-O-U-L-A. Hold on real quick. I'm finding out right now. A woman for training who is employed to provide guidance and support to a pregnant woman during labor. Yeah, there's a reason that I don't know what that is. So basically, yeah. So if you're doing adoption and you're doing birth related stuff, I do think personally that right now, as you're getting started, that you should niche down. And the reason that I think that you should niche down on one or the other is because if you are like, it could be two different people in terms of, there's the people that have kids and that can have kids, but they want to adopt anyway. Then there's also the people that can't have kids at all. And so they lean on adoption for that. And then of course, the people that are giving birth so that they, can do that whole thing. So because of that, I would niche down so that you can make sure that you're nailing that like a specific audience right now, and then start experimenting with dropping in some of the other content later. But right now, without question, I would niche down and pick one or the other for whoever it is that's most important for you to reach. So if it's more important for you to reach the people that are into adoption, then I would make that specific content. If it's more important to you to reach the other people, then I would focus on that content instead. And one thing that you might also do is, since you've just been on for a little bit, you've already published some videos, is if you do have some already that you're like, hey, these are actually doing better, then in that situation, that might be the actual path that you want to walk, because those are the people that YouTube is showing you to, and those are the people that are responding to that content more. And because of that, that would be the content that you would want to lean on, so to speak, if you are going to make that decision.
Super chat.
Tim Wolf says, hey, Nick, music artist page. Goals to entertain and inspire people by listening to my music. Previous mentor advised to buy subs. Now I'm in that hole. What actions can I take to reverse my previous bad decision? Okay, so here's the thing, Tim, is unfortunately, you're going to have to just continue making content and stay, you just got to dig yourself out. So what I mean by that is, like right now, what's happening, I'm not sure how many that you bought, but right now, what's happening, if you ended up buying, let's say, like several hundred or like 1,000 or something like that, when you publish your videos, some of those dead accounts are actually getting presented your videos on YouTube, right? Because those accounts, those bots are actually made to interact on YouTube just like a human would. And when that is happening, they're literally hitting home pages, they're watching videos, they're going down into suggested. And you can even see a lot of these as well because of how they'll actually structure their channel page, because it's all bots, right? So basically how it'll work is they'll go and they'll hit a channel page, and then there'll be a specific list of channels, and those specific list of channels, their bots will go in and then they'll pick one of those channels, they'll go and they'll watch some stuff there, and then they'll click on a suggested video of one of those channels and so on. So you're in a situation right now to where some of your stuff is being presented to non-humans. Sometimes they might even click on it, but what you're dealing with right now is just kind of like an unresponsive, an unresponsive audience. Now, with that said, those are just the people that are currently subscribed to the channel, which is that core group that, as they respond, YouTube is going to be showing your stuff too. So you can quickly get out of it. But in order to get out of it, you just have to, have a few good videos that you put out that people just in general respond to that will help YouTube show you to them more, since they're the most active on the channel compared to the people that will end up being identified over time as people that are just not, they don't care about your content. So because of that, just stay on the path, so to speak. Keep putting out content, and with the traffic that you are getting, you'll be able to notice. So like with the traffic that you are getting, just make sure that you are just make sure that you're being mindful of the stuff that is performing well for you. And also, one thing that I would lean on in your situation as well is start looking for the, hey, Vegard, what's up, man? Start looking for the content, because you'll see in your analytics, you're going to see the non-subscribed viewers versus subscribed viewers. So what you want to do in that situation is you want to go and you want to look, and you'll notice that non-subscribed viewers are coming into your channel, which the more of those that you're getting right now, the bigger the win that you're going to have, because that's the faster way out of that hole. So that's the stat that you want to keep an eye on right now as you are digging yourself out of that hole. But keep in mind, like, one good video that puts you in front of that right audience can completely shift it up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Sith Lord, the great, glorious Sith Lord of YouTube, Roberto Blake, in the house. Roberto Blake, what is up, man?
Happy 4th, Nick, and good morning, YouTube.
Oh. Uh-oh, I'm in this like loop. There we go. Okay, got it fixed. All good.
Yeah.
There we go. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy 4th, Nick.
Happy 4th to you as well. You going to like some fireworks or something later?
No, I'm staying home.
Staying home? All right, good man. Good man right there. That was a trick question. Trick question.
Super track.
Yeah, I'm actually staying home. I'll probably just stream on Twitch today and eat hot dogs and hamburgers.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot like that it was the 4th until right before the stream, and then I tried to remember and I completely forgot. And then Eric Waite was like, "Hey, it's the 4th of July," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's great." So again, to the Americans out there, happy 4th of July. So how's your week been, Roberto? You've been good, man?
Busy. It's been good. It's been busy, but I did manage to get a video out this week. I was hoping to get back to 2 or 3 videos a week. It's been just a struggle with that though. Working on some projects, some sponsor stuff I can't talk about yet, but sure. Really good.
You have to kill us all.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good July for me. Good. It's gonna be a good July for me. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh, that, and I'm streaming on Twitch now. That's been fun, actually. Just nerd stuff. In fact, I think you might have saw I tweeted at D. It's like, hey, let's just talk Star Wars. Let's just like go on Twitch and just nerd about Star Wars. So
nice.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've considered, because like I'll play games and stuff from time to time. So I've considered actually setting up a Twitch channel just for, it's like, hey, when I do play games, just hopping on Twitch for the sake of just something else.
Dude, we can raid each other. It's like, hey,
yeah, be fun.
I'm looking at some games. I mean, I play a little bit of casual gaming. I am somewhat competitive in Magic the Gathering Arena. I pretty much stay in platinum tier. I haven't broken to mythic. Like, that's the highest of the highest tier. I end up always being like, every month I end up like rank 3 or rank 2 platinum. I haven't been able to break through into like mythic, which is like top tier. But like, better than silver and gold, better than bronze.
Yeah, I'm like, my thing is mostly Call of Duty. I'll dip my fingers in or my toes in Fortnite every now and then.
Playing Warzone?
Yeah.
I'm dabbling in Warzone.
Like, I'm not good, but man,
decent.
It's so fun.
I'm decent in Warzone. If I actually try, I could probably, because back in the day, dude, back in the day,
I was just a little
back in you remember Black Ops 2? Remember Black Ops 2?
Yep.
I was like a freaking machine, dude. I could have, like, if I had been like really into like the esports thing back then. I mean, I love what I do now, but I'm like, I could have been legit competitive back then. Back then, I was like good.
Back in the day.
But I also was spending an absurd amount of time. I literally quit video games to become successful and to make money. I'm not even joking. And now that I, am comfortable, I am starting to play games again. So
yeah, good. So, I'm going to get into some questions here really quick. We've got Friday Gaming says, why when I stream, when I say hello, viewers leave? your viewers just might not be into live streams in general. It could be that, there's something about your stream that they don't like. Maybe, maybe your audio's too loud. Maybe it's too low. Maybe it's just bad audio. Maybe there's a bunch of, just random background noise and things like that that's turning people off. Maybe the quality of the video isn't that great and people are like, I'm going to go watch something else. So, it really comes down to, just people being, into what it is that you're doing and that they get a really good experience out of it. So one of the difficulties that content creators have, especially if you're just getting the ball rolling, you're just getting started, is that there's not a lot of activity in your chat. So when people come in, there's not a lot going on. So they're just like watching you. And then since they're just watching you, there's not really anybody to talk to in the chat or anything like that, which makes the whole thing, a little bit less entertaining for them, which will cause people to leave. So keep going, right? Like that'll build up over time. So keep going. It's just, right now you're in that particular part of it. Tox CPT says, is Tube Karma fake? Just saw their ad before the stream. No idea. Never heard of them before. So I can't say one way or the other. I don't even know what Tube Karma.
Anything that's telling you that, hey, get views, get subs, anything that is a scam. Anything that is a scam. Let me look into what
Frizzy. I know that's one. We've got this one that's probably going to end up jumping on the list as well.
Okay, Tube Karma. I'm like, I haven't used it, so I'm not going to say, for legal reasons, I'm not going to say it's a scam. Sure. I'm going to say that, in my opinion, I find this thing to be dubious and sketchy, since it says, when I go to their website, get 5,000 YouTube subscribers every month, the #1 organic growth service. I think anything that says it's an organic growth service is BS. I think anyone guaranteeing
if it was an organic growth service, then you wouldn't need it.
Exactly.
Right?
Anything that says it's going to get you X amount of subscribers every month is sketchy, in my opinion. It's targeting people who are desperate and want attention. It's targeting people who have the absurd idea and think that if they get a certain amount of, and I understand why people think that, okay, people will pay attention to me if they see I have X amount of subs real quickly. That's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. It also means you're insecure and that you think you need to fake it to make something, because it means that deep down you don't believe that what you make is good enough and deserving enough on its own, and that you need the story of blowing up in order to be worthwhile. So anything like that, and anything because you feel stuck or frustrated or desperate, I want you to think about whether or not you would inject steroids or inject a drug into your body because you felt insecure, and whether you think that's a good idea if you're ever thinking about this crap. So that's just my harsh
dropping bombs. ASMR Dreammore says, you guys teach how to do YouTube, but you don't have viral videos on your channel yourself. Why is that? So basically, when it comes to viral videos for people that make YouTube content, the big thing that hurts us, one, is the attrition rate of people that are wanting to be YouTubers. Two, is just market cap in general, in terms of people, that we can reach that care about the specific things that we're talking about. Because in a lot of cases, it'll be people that are trying to get the ball rolling, that'll be watching our content, and then people, depending on the specific video, the people that will be coming in for the additional things will be because it just resonates with that, level of creator. So basically, the idea is, like with all of our audiences, we're segmented into all of these different groups based on the knowledge that people already have. So because of that, the virality of our type of content, just it's not there. So so people can get, lots of views and all of that stuff based on, specific types of content, but it's typically, something that usually takes a while. So, I've got videos on my channel with, like over 1 million views on them, like that kind of stuff. I think I've got one approaching 2 maybe. But, it really comes down to like that side of things. And with that said, one thing that I want you to keep in mind, in terms of like a reference for this, is if you look at the Creator Insiders YouTube channel, it's literally being promoted all the time in the admin panel of every YouTube content creator on the platform. And even their stuff doesn't get that type of response that you are talking about. And it's literally actively being promoted to every YouTube content creator on the platform, to where our stuff just gets shown to the people that are like the people that are already watching it and the people that YouTube thinks that might be a good candidate for it, but they're not actively promoting our stuff, all over the platform to our ideal audience. So hopefully that gives you some context there.
Also, go ahead and ask Bill Belichick why he's coaching a championship team without being a quarterback. Because guess what? Like, coaches don't have to be top tier players in order to be top tier coaches. There are people from this community that we've helped build much bigger channels than ours. Because the thing is, somebody studying and someone mastering and doing those things wouldn't necessarily make like a great player, but we're all right players. We do pretty well for ourselves.
We're pretty good players.
We're pretty good players.
Yeah.
We're pretty good players. We're silver league. We may not be gold star just yet, but we're getting there. Yeah. I have 30 million total views. If you don't have 1 million views, you should probably learn from me. If I was still making $10 an hour, I'd never sit there and say to somebody, well, you're only making $250,000 a year. You're not a millionaire. Why should I listen to you? Because you're comfortable. You're not mega rich. I'm making $10 an hour. That'd be dumb of me.
She's got a bunch of views and all that good stuff. Like she's definitely an experienced creator. She's got like 120 something thousand subscribers.
That's
on her
amazing.
Channel. I'm not sure on the.
And I'm not dissing her. I'm talking about everybody who accessed this question. This is a question we get so often. And I'm just trying to help people with perspective. Perspective is, look, if somebody, there's also, yes, learn from people who have results that are bigger than your results, but also straight up, somebody could know something you don't know. I learn from small YouTubers things that I don't know that they specialize in. There are people who specialize in certain things, and even if it's not achieving results, if they have a process, like, for example, I don't have viral videos, but if you want to know how to like save time, if you are making videos, but boy, it's taking you 12 and 18 and 16 hours to do things, I am one of the most efficient content creators on this platform, and I've helped people who have families, who have kids, even without me having kids, get back 4 and 5 hours of their production and editing time that then gets to go to their family. And like, that's a big deal, and that's a very specific, workflow wise, somebody who's mad efficient, somebody who's very into hardware. There are people who specialize in things that know things that you don't and can teach you. And the thing is, the reality is, most of the mega creators that you wish would tell you something and could teach you, what they'll say, because a lot of them don't even understand their success beyond being an entertainer, is they'll say something like, I was just lucky and it's good timing. Viral videos are not something you can manufacture or control, to be honest with you, unless you are rich. And Nick, I think you can add to this.
Just as a quick side note, is if I wanted to do viral content, I wouldn't be making the type of content that I have.
Exactly. Right? Me neither. Yeah,
so basically, like, the experience that I have with my channel and with working with a bunch of other content creators on a bunch of different types of channels as well, just through direct one-on-one consulting, is like, if I wanted viral content, this is not the avenue to get there. But in terms of my goals, this is the type of content helps
exactly. And viral
content.
And I'll tell you guys the truth. I know those viral video creators. I know a lot of them very well. I know people that get 1 million views or plus, and they make $500 on 1 million views. And the type of content that I make, and that I even try to help people make, is like, a lot of you, you think that you want to be a famous or rich YouTuber, you want to be viral. Here's the truth. If you're honest with yourself, a lot of you just want to quit your 9-to-5 job. You just want to make a little bit of extra money. There are really practical ways to do that without killing yourself to make a viral video, and without torturing yourself, and without abusing yourself to try to do something that literally has only been done by about roughly the amount of people who've ever climbed Mount Everest. You can be good and you can have a good life without having to climb Mount Everest, my friends. And people who haven't climbed Mount Everest can still teach you how to get in shape. So just keep that in mind.
And one more thing too, just so we can beat on this horse a little bit longer, is she just mentioned right here, she says, I'm disappointed when people teach how to do YouTube but themselves have like 1,000 views per video. So like, one thing that I want to address as well is, and I'm going to use Matt Geelan as an example here over at like Little Monster Media. So basically, like with Matt, like with his YouTube channel, he's doing well. He's getting the ball rolling over there. And he's, his channel is growing and he's being strategic about it and all of that stuff. And from the outside, if you don't know him or his backstory, you might look at his channel and you might be like, okay, well, he doesn't have, like this huge channel. So because of that, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But you don't know that he works with like the BBC and Nickelodeon and like all these big brands,
Fortune
and, like,
500 companies, Viacom companies,
right? Helping them do viral content. Then he also works with, you know, a bunch of additional like extremely large content creators on the platform as well, helping them do viral content also, or just, you know, high response content. And you know, you might look at his channel and you might think that like, okay, well, you know, his channel doesn't have, you know, tons of you know, activity yet, but in terms of the knowledge and the information that he shares, it's rock solid. And like going and watching his content should be like every content creator, like he should be one of the people that is in your schedule of people to watch. Roberto, me, video influencers, Matt Geelan, Daryl Eves, Tim Schmoyer, who am I forgetting? Catherine Manning, Sunny Landerduzzi, Jevin Dovey. If you're in the business world, Owen Video. Who else? Who am I missing here?
Vanessa Lau, Shelly Saves.
Yes. So, you know, just in terms of, you know, just some names, there's more as well. But in terms of like YouTube specific information, you know, like all of those people are people that you should be listening to.
And and like, I'll just also perspective wise, it's like 1,000 views isn't nothing to somebody who can't even get 1 or 10 or 100. And again, I would say if like with how to be successful on YouTube, there's a lot of markers of being successful on YouTube. And again, people can be disappointed. People razz us. I mean, they used to razz you. You're getting all the views now and everything like that. So I guess maybe just me, but sometimes people criticize me about why are you teaching this and you get like 10,000, this many views, this many views. One, I'm taking it easy. Two, I'm trying to actually just help people instead of get views whenever I make anything, even if it's not YouTube related.
Brian G. Johnson. I can't believe I didn't say Brian
at home.
Johnson.
Oh yeah. Wow. How could
Yeah.
we forget? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Our
yeah,
homie.
Brian G. Absolutely. Thanks for dropping that in there.
But I'll give you an example. I did a video on how
He's got noodles.
I did a video this week. It's the how to grow 10 ways to grow fast. One, people were like, oh my God, finally a video that had new information. I know that a lot of people didn't click on it because they thought, oh, I'm going to hear the same things over and over. And people who did click and watch are like, oh my God, things I haven't heard before. Oh, wow, that's perfect for me. Or that's a gold miner. Oh, make the specific video on that one tip. And then on top of that, I'll tell you guys a little secret of how sometimes my content works out. This will be fascinating for you specifically, Nick. That video, without the ads alone, has a $80 CPM right now.
Nice.
Because of how it converts for the YouTube Starter Kit template bundle. It has an $80 CPM because literally for every 1,000 people who have watched that, somebody has bought from me.
Nice.
And again, not bought a YouTube course, bought the 100 plus Photoshop templates and the 100 video ideas and the 20 best title formulas. And everybody who's bought it is like, oh my God, I like did not expect all of this. This is like a lot. This is like, why is this selling for under $100, right? And I make this point to say, if any of you make something like a sound pack, your presets LUTs, you make an ebook that's $10 or $15, screw AdSense and screw your views and what people think about that. If you're making the kind of money on the back end that allows you to either get more comfortable, pay down your debt, leave your job, do the things that I know you really want to do. Because again, aside from some of the children in here, like a lot of you ain't in this to get famous. You know that you just want to do something you actually like for a living. And there's a beginning of a path to that. And the barrier to entry is not you having to go viral and having to break out like Robert Kenny from Dad, How Do I, or Janelle Ileana and be an overnight success. It's more likely that you're going to take the long and slow and hard path like me and Nick than just have this win the lottery scenario happen for you. And so a viral video, I'm like, you know, and I get where people are coming from. I really do. I sincerely do. But I want you to understand that it's like, you know what? My teachers in college, and I razz this a little bit when I talk about how much college cost. I'll be real with you. I learned a lot from them, but it's like none of them even accomplished as graphic designers what I managed to do before I was 25 as a graphic designer. My career ended up being better than the people who taught me, but I'm thankful for them just the same. But like they didn't get to do billboards in Times Square. They didn't get to do HBO boxing stuff. Like I did, but they did make a living before, going into academia. So, I mean, I gained and I valued from their experience. There are people right now at Harvard Business School who have never built $1 million business that are teaching business, So, and I'm not saying experience doesn't matter or results doesn't matter. I'm saying I don't think anyone has a proper gauge.
So I would rather learn from the person that has built $1 million business, right?
Right.
Like, comparatively, you know what I'm saying? I definitely understand that.
Oh, and that was not for the $1 million. That was the person who built a business, not quite a million. But
hold on really quick. Grethel loves
Welcome
to share.
to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure that you check the community feed. Also, next time you're on Facebook, look for the Nimminati VIP Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the questions on the way in, because that's how I actually vet you to make sure that you're actually a channel membership, or that you're actually a channel member when you go in there. Rock Climbing Grandma saying, hey, Roberto. Hey, Nick. What is up, Rock Climbing Grandma? Nice to see you in here. And Scully's House of Thrillers. What is up? Walter's World also in the house. What's up, man? Hope that you are doing well. Yeah. John Palm wishing everybody a happy 4th of July.
And with that, we're going to let the horse rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah, we're like slamming on that horse, right? That's good. So good. Okay, so next question that we have here on the list is from Picavolt SS9. Picavolt SS9 says they upload when they have time. They do gaming and animations. The goal of the channel is inspired and interested in making videos. And the question is, why do many videos not get recommended and prompted despite being unique, having tags, descriptions professionally done? Same without tags from years ago, often get promoted too. Because YouTube promotes your content based on how people respond to it, not what it is that you actually do to it. So what I mean by that is, when you are like, yes, titles are important. Yes, descriptions are important. Yes, you should still use tags because they're still there. However, the thing that's going to move the needle for you more than anything is you do write a good enough title and you do make a good enough thumbnail that people are actually clicking on it a lot. And then from there, once they get the actual video content, they're watching it for a fair amount of time. And then if you're like really good, then they're going and they're watching another video, maybe even 2 or 3 after that as well. That's the things that make your videos get promoted. It's not, hey, I used this specific tag and then all of a sudden my video did great. Or I put this specific word in my description, then all of a sudden my video did great.
Do you want to explain to them
from the outside?
Do you want to explain to them? Because like, I keep thinking it always comes back to this, and I think people like don't understand what keyword research is meant to accomplish. Like, what are your my point of view is that keywords are meant to establish for YouTube, because YouTube's only goal is to find what I, the viewer, care about. And what I care about right now, apparently, is I care about learning how to be a better Twitch streamer, because I'm a newbie Twitch streamer. And I care about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I needed a hobby again. And I went back to what I did as a teenager, like I always do. And I apparently care about Star Wars a lot, and the fact that it's the 40th anniversary of Empire.
I mean, you couldn't not.
Of Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
So there's so guess what YouTube does? When YouTube says we need to find content that will be addictive and will keep Roberto on the platform and siphon hours away from his life and his productivity, and impede him becoming a multimillionaire by keeping him on YouTube longer. When YouTube wants to do that and siphon those years from my life, YouTube does everything it can to identify whether a video is about Star Wars. It does everything it can to identify whether a video is about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Chaos Max Dragon deck that I want to build. It does everything to identify if a video is about Twitch, and it does everything to also identify if people who watch that video have anything in common with me in terms of all of my previous viewing behavior. Okay, it does everything to identify whether or not, if I search in a specific thing in Twitch, like specifically how to schedule a stream, it does everything to identify not just that that video is about Twitch, but it's about specifically scheduling a Twitch stream. Because anything that is not about scheduling a Twitch stream, but might be about getting more followers on Twitch, or anything that's not about scheduling, or having a schedule, or how much to upload, or anything like that, how often to stream, is not going to be relative to what I'm asking for. It's not relevant. And so if it's not relevant, it means I'm going to pass on it, which means it's not going to get a click, which means it's not going to get watch time. YouTube has the following goal: keep people on YouTube as long as possible, steal as much of my life force as possible and give it to the YouTube algorithm. That is the goal of YouTube, to rob you of as much of your day as it possibly can, but make you say, oh, I don't regret that. Like, and that's the only goal it has. So if I want a specific thing, or I clearly this week have only watched certain types of videos, or I watch certain types of videos more, that is the type of video that YouTube is going to promote to me, but also to people like me. Okay? Now here's what happens.
This part right here, pay really close attention to this, because that people like me part is extremely important, especially if you are one of the people that were asking the questions here earlier about using YouTube for business. This part is extremely important, because what he's getting ready to tell you is a gold mine in terms of YouTube finding your customers for you.
Right. So if a video is, if I'm watching stuff and it says for new streamers is a person like me. So if that's in the title is the first thing people pay attention to. If you wanted to get a title to be catchy, but it couldn't cover everything, the description is used. And for a lot of things that also tell you what might be in the video and what it's about, that's what the keywords are used. When we use TubeBuddy to grade keywords, we're partly doing that keyword research to grade how good of a phrase is that for our title, how good of a phrase is that for our description, and what are other ways to phrase that thing? What are other, most of you, I hate to say it like this, you are doing keyword research wrong, you are doing titles wrong, you are doing descriptions wrong, and you are doing tags wrong, because you think that the goal of that is to get you more views. Getting more views is a byproduct of targeting the needs and desires and interest and psychology and identity of who should watch this video because of who would get value from it. The only way that keyword research and doing titles, descriptions, and tags works is if they are meant to serve the viewer instead of to serve you. And that's all of you, your problem right now is that you're thinking about how I can get more views from this versus how can this video make sure, how can doing these things make sure that somebody finds what they want and what they need and what they're looking for. You have the same responsibility in categorizing and tagging this, and what YouTube is doing. YouTube might as well be the damn Dewey Decimal System at the library. It's meant to put a book on a shelf so that somebody coming in can find what they need, and it's your job to provide that. So that means that if you stuff your tags and things with that about things about Twitch, and then it's a video with you begging for YouTube subscribers, you tricked me, and YouTube is going to say that you're not relevant to me, and they're going to figure that out. And how are they going to figure that out? Because I'm going to click off of that video right away, and I'm going to thumbs down it, which means it's not going to, if I thumbs down, here's what happens. It's not going to promote your content to me nearly as much in a priority anymore, because I've made it clear that I don't like what's going on here. And if you come up and if I click something like not interested in this channel or don't promote this channel to me, that's a signal to YouTube. And it's saying that not only Roberto, but did enough people, did Roberto, how many other people did that? How many of those people have things in common? Okay, do not show and promote that as much to people like Roberto. That's what happens. So if you're wondering why, one, you can see that YouTube is promoting your content when you look at your impressions and your click-through rate. You cannot blame YouTube at that point. It says that, hey, we showed it to people.
Right, because that's like, hey, YouTube tried, and then
we showed it. And they said, we gave it to people, and they said no. And some of them said, hell no. And so you need to then think about, well, why? What in the beginning of when they were given the option, what about the title either didn't apply to them, excluded them, or alienated them, or didn't make it clear what their expectation should be? What about the description doesn't help rephrase that another way and give them options to say that, hey, what I'm trying to say, if I had to sensationalize that title a little bit, here's what I'm trying to say this is about. And then YouTube's also looking at the content itself and saying, hey, does your content, at least in the first 1/3 of the video, say and do what you said it should say and do in the title, in the description, and in those keywords. And remember, we're trying to figure out the ranking of those keywords as phrases and things that our target intended viewer, the person we want to give value for, would be thinking about, would be searching for, would care about, so that is part of those keywords serve the same purpose that keywords would serve in the Dewey Decimal System. If you were in the library searching for a book to research, it serves the same purpose as when you're shopping for a product on Amazon. You should be thinking of keywords in that way and only in that way. And it's not about you getting views. It's about putting this video in the right place so that the people who want the right value can find it. It's context.
It's all about context. Because what you're doing is you're giving the platform context, and you're also giving the human beings that might click on it context. So when you're like thinking of your keywords, it's important to make sure that you're just thinking like, okay, one, is it easy for somebody to identify exactly what this video is about based on this specific word or phrase that I'm using in my title? If the answer is yes, then that's a step in the right direction. In addition to that, do I have any type of audience identifier in there to where they can even identify that it's even for them? Like Roberto was talking about before, with the Twitch example where he was talking about
Twitch streamer, yeah.
Right, like new streamers, for them, that's a target identifier in terms of like, okay, well, if I'm trying to reach new streamers, I need to make sure I put new streamers in my title and or my thumbnail every single chance that I get, if that's who it is that I'm actually trying to reach. So you have to take all those things into account. Excellent info there, Roberto. Thank you.
Thanks.
So
welcome to the Nimmin.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of great feedback on that in the chat also. RV Adventure couple, welcome to channel membership. Make sure that you check the community feed here on YouTube. Also, make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for the Nimminati VIP Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the questions on the way in, because that is how I verify your membership on the way in. And then I've got
score on TubeBuddy matter
that I'm going to answer here as well right here in just a second. What were we going to say, Roberto?
Someone asked if score on TubeBuddy matters. Me and TubeBuddy are working on a case study to prove this with data, but what I'll say is this. It matters and ranking matters if your title and thumbnail doesn't suck and if people care about that topic at that time. Because by the way, if there's like right now there's this whole beauty drama getting thing going on right now, you know what? For the average casual viewer, if your audience is casual people, right now, you probably, not for any fault of you making good content, are not going to get as many clicks because that's absorbing people right now in a distraction. The Dr. Disrespect stuff there's a lot of high profile topics. And if you're not making content about that right now, your stuff will seemingly underperform. That's just a timing thing. But if your content is evergreen and it's meant to not serve a casual audience and it's meant to serve a specific audience and a specific niche that's like, I don't give a crap about any of that, then you'll be fine. Like, so does ranking matter? Sure. If your title and thumbnail doesn't suck and if the timing is good, then yes, it would matter. If not, then I hope it's evergreen because it means it can always perform later. You and I have seen creators from this community say, hey, our video blew up 4, 5, 6 months later.
Absolutely. I've had that happen like personally too.
Super chat.
So I'm gonna go through some of these super chats real quick because I missed a nice handful of them. So Friday Gaming 420 says, can you make it big on YouTube? Only editing on your phone? Absolutely, you can. So basically, like the thing that you edit with, like these days, right? Like maybe like a bunch of years ago, it was a lot more difficult, but these days, like the thing that you edit with, I mean, of course, if you have like full, robust editing software and a nice powerful computer to actually run it, then, it opens you up creatively. However, being a little bit limited can open you up creatively as well because you have to work within those limits. But without question, with all the apps that are out there for phones, editing on your phone, it should not be an excuse in any way, shape, or form. It just might take you a little bit more trial and error to get the cut in the right place compared to, somebody sitting at a computer being able to zoom in, eyeball it, hit it, and move on. So because of that, making content on a phone, editing your content on a phone, uploading your content to YouTube on a phone, making thumbnails on a phone, all of that nowadays is completely possible, and it is not a hindrance in any way, shape, or form. It comes down to the content that you're making with that and how you're putting that content together. So if you're editing on your phone, spend the time to learn how to edit on your phone if that's what you're editing on.
They put full Photoshop on iPad. On the phone right now, like I showed that literally in 1 minute with one click, you can remove a background from a good photo in one click with Adobe Spark. Like that's pretty dope. Like, and it did a really good job. Like you can use no.bg to remove backgrounds in one click.
Remove.bg. Yeah,
remove.bg. Yeah, the sharpness suffers, but you could always fix that with like Snapseed. Like you can do so much on your phone right now, and that's why Nimmin is the master of mobile.
Johnson makes all of his thumbnails on a iPad. All of his thumbnails are on an iPad using Pixelmator, I think is what he uses for his. And so Roberto mentioned it, and there's some people in the chat as well. So for you as a mobile content creator, any of you mobile content creators, my brother has an entire channel for you as a mobile content creator. I've got a link to him down in the description, but you can also just look for Nimmin on YouTube. He has literally his entire channel is made for people like you that do stuff on their phone. So make sure that you check out his channel if you haven't yet.
Super chat.
The next one that we have here is from Chef PK. Says AdSense isn't the end game. 75% of my YouTube income comes from Patreon conversions, merchandise, book sales, Twitch conversions, and an email list. Absolutely. So that's a flag that we carry in a massive way. So basically, when it comes to the amount of money that you're making from YouTube ads, you can make a ton of money from just getting lots of views and just getting ad revenue. However, if you take that and then you open it up to where you also have merchandise, you also have an email list, you also have different products that you promote and things like that, then you can really start swelling things up really fast, because in that situation, now you have a way to actually drive traffic to the things that you are involved in. So because of that, yeah, AdSense. And I would say I would venture to say in both cases, AdSense is not the end of the game, right? So because of that, yeah, without question, if you can find other ways to monetize, do it. So here's an interesting one for you, Roberto.
Yeah,
I met a friend of mine for coffee. So basically, he lives down on one of the islands here in Thailand. He loves living here, but then he moved down to one of the islands, and then he came back up here to visit. And I met him for coffee the other day. And in his situation, his YouTube channel has 25. He just crossed 25,000 subscribers on his channel.
Sweet.
But he's generating over $300,000 a year from his Patreon.
From his Patreon.
From his Patreon. It doesn't include his ad revenue. That doesn't include a course, because he also has a course as well. But just Patreon by itself, he's generating $300,000 a year.
So that means he's doing $30,000 a month, which seems to me that he has about roughly an average.
It's a little bit under, just a tad under $30,000 a month.
So yeah, that means to me that he has a roughly like 2,800 people, 2,800 people that are averaging at least $10 a month in Patreon.
So he's got like 1,100 people, and he has different tiers. So he has one tier that is $1,000 a month, and I think he's got how many people does he have on that? I think he's got 6 people just on that one.
Okay, so that'll do it.
I can't remember, but anyway, so to add to the point that Chef PK is making, depending on the type of content that you make, because some content is more lucrative than other content based on the sponsors that you might work with, or based on and the
some
amount
people
of
have an affluent audience.
Some people, yeah. What I was getting ready to say next, yeah,
an affluent audience. An affluent audience does translate, by the way, in ad revenue, but it also translates into the sponsors you get. I get better sponsorship and brand deals than a lot of people who are very famous and do a lot of entertaining content, because the type of audience that they have, the product that would be sold to them isn't worth a lot of money per se. And on the other hand, the kind of products that I can help move usually are subscription model based products, things that people pay $10, $20, $30, $50 a month for. And the thing is, they're the kind of products that people don't quit. These companies know they have low churn on that. So they know that, hey, getting even 100 people to care about our product lifetime is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to us. So paying you $10,000, Roberto, is not a big deal, because of what we'll do. Or, hey, if it's it's like, oh well, we take a percentage of people's transactions. If it's some e-commerce platform, they know they're going to get a percentage of transactions. So if they get people onto their platform, even with a free plan, they know they're making money in the bank off of the transactions just because of the transaction fees. So
and being able to remarket to them later and like all of that.
So like I'd work with like these companies that have really strong business models that, again, may not be for the average consumer. It's not buying a $15 Nerf gun or something one time. So like but guess what? It's a smaller bracket, even with getting views. Like I said, for me, I can get, like, while people who go viral, they'll make $500 on 1 million views. One, I get that much better than CPMs than that, but like I also get affiliate commissions, I get direct sales, I get people who do coaching with me. That video that I talked about, I just actually checked something on my phone. Not only did it generate roughly one sale per every 1,000 views of that product, but it also brought somebody into my coaching membership who just paid up front for the whole year, Nick. So I just got $500 for the whole year for somebody to join my membership. So like for coaching in my group, Awesome Creator Academy. So like that video doesn't even have 10. Thank you. AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. The video doesn't have, and I'm just making this point to teach you guys that there's a business of YouTube. The business of YouTube is really, don't subscribe to my channel if you want to go viral. Don't subscribe to my channel if you want 1 million subscribers. But if you want to learn how to turn video content into a full-time business that might be able to support your family and that could go more passive, be something that also doesn't take time away from your family, something that you can do even if you have a full-time job and you work, or you run a company full-time or something like that, or you're a student, but you want to make good money and you want to do it smart and you don't want to be on a treadmill chasing trends and drama. That's what I teach. I teach how to treat YouTube like a business and treat it like a sport and do it like an athlete. And it's mental discipline. It's not fun and games. It can be fun. You can enjoy it. I certainly do. But like, Nick, I have a video that doesn't even have 10,000 views that made $1,000 in like 48, 72 hours. I would have never imagined that when I was making $6 an hour at the mall that I was capable of that. I would have never imagined that when I was working 50 hours a week and only being paid for 40 by my freaking like boss, like holding us hostage for all hands on deck when I was a graphic designer. Okay? Like that's the truth. I'm trying to help y'all understand that like this, Nick and I are so happy and so blessed to do what we do. But we also know that a lot of people are just thinking about it in the wrong way, and we're trying our best to help you because there's a lot of, I mean, I'm not calling anyone out, but there's a lot of misinformation. None of our homies, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people teaching you and telling you the wrong things and hyping you up and making you think that you got to climb Mount Everest and you don't.
So really quick, I just want to congratulate Yoga Bliss Dance. They just hit 10,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. So high five and fist bump to you. Awesome to see you making those gains. Nice work, grinding it out. Absolutely love seeing that. Heidi, Costume CEO in the house. What is up? Andrew Can also in the house. Also dropped a super chat as well, saying 4 for the 4th of July. And I've got some other super chats I'm going to get to as well. But ladies and gentlemen, while I'm getting to those, I also want to just go ahead and bring in the one, the only, the handsomest guy over at TubeBuddy, Andrew Can.
Andrew Can, the man.
Well, thank you, Nick. I'm not sure if I can live up to that. But
Tiffany begs to differ.
All right. Well, since she's dating me, she's a terrible judge of character. But how are you both doing?
Happy to see you here, Andrew. I hope that you are doing well. Hope that you're having a great beginning to your July 4th. Hope you're doing great. Really quick, Eileen Smith in the house. What's up, Eileen? Talking about Pat Flynn. Hey, Dr. Stin also in the house. What's up, man? Also mentioning that Pat was trying to get the pinned comment. I made a screen share for him, and he went through the process also, and that didn't work. So he hit up Team YouTube, I believe it was, or YouTube creators on Twitter, trying to get the feature enabled because it's just not enabled on his end, unfortunately. But I'm sure they'll get him worked out. So really quick, guys, I'm going to go through and hit some of these other super chats here really quick. Dayo, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. So the next one that we have here on the list is from Dr. Tim
Super
Speaks,
chat.
just dropping the $4.99. So thank you for that, Dr. Tim. Next up, we have the Reaper
Super chat.
saying, Nick advised me to remove tags from my titles. My views are increasing just within the last 4 days. Thanks, Nick. Learning a lot. So remember, you want to make sure that you're using keywords, right, in terms of people being able to identify those, but you don't want to put like tags or hashtags directly in your title.
Super
Jay
chat.
Helps says that they do you have a video editor for simple jump cut editing style that you recommend? What tool do you use to make comments with the editor about the edits? Okay, so in terms of the tool to make comments to the editor about the edits, I personally don't do that because my editor is awesome. Vigard, he's in the chat right now. He's just awesome, and he just nails it every single time. So because of that, I actually literally do not have to leave any comments. I just give him the video, and he does his thing. But if there is any interaction that goes back and forth, if I forget to upload something, then in our content manager, I use Monday.com. In our content manager, then he'll just send me a message there and let me know that I forgot to add something so that I can add it. So that I can add it there. But it's always me that has to do something. It's never him in terms of the changes that need to be made. So he's awesome.
For that, though, with timestamps, frame.io is amazing.
Yeah, frame.io. Yeah. I was trying to think of the name as I was going through all that. I was trying to think of the name. So thank you. And in terms of the tool for the comments, yeah, and in terms of a person or company to edit your videos, so there are different services that you can use. I know Video Husky's one. I know VidChops is another one. And then, of course, you can also go on like Upwork or onlinejobs.ph and places like that and try to find, a video editor as well. You can also try for hire over on Reddit. And you'll also find, if you go to Reddit, that if you go into some of the YouTuber subreddits, that there's actually people, in there that are wanting to edit videos for content creators as well. So just as, those are places that you can use in order to do that. But it's a good idea to make sure that you can edit enough on your own to where you can know what to expect in terms of like how long it's going to take, the result that they're going to get out of it, and that kind of thing, so that you can make sure that your expectations are in alignment with what it is that they can do when you actually hand it off, and you can know what to expect back from them based on your knowledge of what to do.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Spirit Throw Me a Bone Live. Welcome to channel membership. Make sure next time you're on Facebook that you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Make sure that you answer all the questions on the way in, because that's how I verify people on the way in, because there's people that try to join that are not members. Shame on them. What were you going to say, Andrew?
I was just going to say, especially when it comes to an editor, knowing what you want is very important, because I've seen a lot of creators just get an editor and they're like, make me look good. And as an editor, I'm sure if either of you heard that, you'd be like, okay.
Right, because that's all up to interpretation at that point.
Exactly. So if you know what you want going in, it makes it a lot easier.
Super chat.
Apps That Roll says, just wanted to say another huge thanks to Nick and Roberto for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, man, high five and fist bump to you for crossing that milestone. Love seeing it. Absolutely love it. Femininity with Mama Gail says, oops, wrong one. Says, I don't edit my videos. I post it mistakes and all because I want my content to be like a real conversation. Do you think editing videos is necessary? My channel is growing slowly, but it's growing. Test it. So here's what I would do is people might dig the way that you do it. So because of that, I would, one, go into your audience retention. You can notice that people are leaving in any particular part, or that people are leaving, over, like quickly, I should say, over a period of time. But I would also edit some videos as well and see if you can notice a difference in your audience retention, because most of the content on YouTube is edited. So that creates kind of like an expectation for the viewers. So if you're really good at communicating, you might be able to hold their attention, no problem at all. Some people can do that. But if you want to experiment, which is what I'd recommend that you do, I would definitely also make sure that you try some edited content as well, just to see if you can get a better response or not. What do you guys recommend?
Well, absolutely. I say go with your data over all things, because like if you're performing very well with no edits, but then you start editing down and you see the opposite, then use that as your guide. But if you see, you start to really pick up in like average view duration and your audience really responds better, then use that, because the thing is, until you test, you'll never know.
I think that a lot of people try to do what they think they should do instead of what's working.
That's good. Yeah, I would agree with that too. So like, hey, I think that it should be this way instead of actually getting the real, data to work with, to where you actually are led into a direction based on the information that's in front of you. Yeah, like I'll see that a lot too, like where people will I'll even get messages, I'm sure you guys do too, where people will, they'll send you a message and they'll be like, hey, I'm making awesome thumbnails and my titles are great, my videos are awesome, but my channel's not growing, like what's going on? And then you go and you look and you're like, yeah, well, these are some of the worst titles. You're not even like using real titles. You are, like your thumbnails are like, what's even going on here? And then you click on the video and the video definitely needs some work. It's just, I don't know. It can be, it can definitely be, like if you think that you're doing all the stuff, then you're probably not. Because when you think that you're doing all the stuff, that limits your ability to grow. So like we should always be thinking, okay, there's something that I need to be doing better. There's something here in my content I need to be doing better. I need to be making, there's something I need to learn to make my thumbnails better. There's something I need to learn to make my titles better. Something that I need to learn in order to be able to communicate better. Something I need to learn when I'm editing my videos to make my edits better. Even if it's on the back end, stuff that nobody will ever see, like your actual workflow, so you can get through it quicker, like whatever it happens to be, or just so you can be more organized and have that peace of mind. There's always stuff that we can all do to improve all the time.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys that, like, you guys have seen me with the recent videos. I've stepped up the quality of the videos to the point of making it hard for myself to do the 3 a week. That, like, I'm getting there. I'm getting closer to getting faster at doing them that way because I like how those videos come out. I like how my videos look. And I also really love these extreme thumbnails that I'm doing. But it takes
Dude, your
longer.
thumbnails look great. Your thumbnails look, they look fantastic.
And it's like everything takes me longer now, but it means that it's also reflective of the standard that I want in my brand. The good news is that it also raised my value in terms of, like, attracting more brands, and it's doing some other things, and it's helping with the business. But it also has been making consistency harder. But here's the thing that happened, guys. My channel is actually doing much better with me doing the way that I'm doing things now. Even when I do upload less, it's stabilized. If I want to grow, I will have to upload more, and I could even come down in quality and do that and perform better. But here's the thing. You may have noticed my individual video views have not in any way increased in proportion to making better videos. It only increases in proportion either to interest in the topic or the title and thumbnail, and that's literally, and then the interest in the topic is timing, and it's the target audience. If I make videos with the quality and thumbnail and stuff that I have now, and the title is money specific and making money online, it will perform. And even with the same quality of thumbnail and same quality of video, YouTube growth stuff is a timing game based on where the community is, when you put that video out. And a video
doing things like this is because, like in these live streams, like you can start to see patterns. Like, right now everybody's talking about money, or right now everybody's talking about, collaboration, or right now everybody's talking about, a specific issue that, that people at scale are having. So it's a really interesting, doing things like this to where you're actually asking or answering questions direct like this, like getting those questions gives you like tons of insight into knowing just, exactly the issues that people are dealing with.
I guarantee you that this week, that if I put out a video on growing a channel, that a video on creator mental health would outperform it. I guarantee you that creator mental health right now would beat a video.
That's interesting. I would watch that. I took a brain break this week. I took like 3 days and I just didn't do like hardly anything because I've been going pretty hard lately, like just trying to get some stuff wrapped up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna I just need to like chill out. So I would still like log in. I would still do like some minor stuff that I like have to do. But outside of that, like I took a few days and just kind of like didn't do much for that particular reason. So like that particular one that you're talking about, like if you publish that, I'd be like, okay, yeah, watching this one.
Yeah, mental health and burnout right now would absolutely perform better than get more views. 1000%, guarantee it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with knowing your audience, right? Like knowing your audience, like you know the buttons to push, so to speak, when you got to push those buttons.
We're halfway through the year. There's all this crazy things with YouTubers being canceled. People have real life stress right now. Everything is summer is weird right now because everything and everyone's in limbo, and no one knows what happens with going back to school. Nobody knows what's going to happen with their job. No one's so like
what's going to happen, and just leave it, and just leave it open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with everything, it's like yeah, it's just it's insane, absolutely insane. Savvy Turtle says, Andrew Can, you and your team plus Nick is a big portion of why we will shortly hit 1,000 subscribers. All of you rock, and glad to share our next milestone with you today. High five and fist bump to you for approaching and possibly crossing 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Absolutely awesome. Love it. All right. Next one that we've got, actually, it was Andrew. Okay. That's good. Okay, Andrew. I drank the water like you had suggested.
Look, Nick, one day I'm going to get drink water shirts, and my goal is to pass them out to people at the TubeBuddy booth. So during your presentation, the whole front row says to drink water. That's my dream goal when we get back at it.
Super funny. So the next question that we have here, I'm going to dig back into the chat here, or back into the forum, I should say. So the next question is from XD Gamer, and XD Gamer has a toy review channel, but I also do figure animations and Doctor Who stuff. Says the goal of the channel is I'm trying to get monetized so I can improve my recording equipment. And the question is, well, I was wondering, because my watch time is decreasing massively, how can I increase it? So the way that you increase watch time is by making really, really good content, or at least content that's at least fairly acceptable, and that you also do the things that we always recommend that make people watch more videos. So one, you niche down so that you can make sure that you're making a specific type of content for a specific audience, and then you make sure that you're making content that those people enjoy, and you're always thinking about the viewer experience, which is one of the things I wanted to mention when Roberto was talking about, making the higher quality content is, like one really awesome thing, like when you do, start adding cameras, and you start adding that quality experience to what it is that you're doing, is you're like, all you're doing in that situation is you're trying to just make a better experience for the people that are watching your content. You're trying to make it look better. You're trying to, you do it for yourself too, because you want it to, all look good and sound great and all that. But, you're just creating a better visual and audio experience for the people that are watching your content, which you can never lose at doing that. Like, when you have something that's already working and you just keep improving the experience for the viewers, like, there's not a path to lose there. Like, it's always a win, because you have something that's working, and then you're just continually improving it to make it even better and better for the people that are coming in and watching.
As long as you make it physically and financially sustainable, because the downside is, if something, I can do what I want to do with taking more time on stuff because I'm single and I don't have any kids. If I was not, I'd put a quality ceiling on my content that doesn't take more time away from family. If I was working a 9-to-5 job, I would be responsible there too. You said that one of your goals is you specifically want to save up for more gear, or you want to get monetization to get more gear, so you need the watch time for that. Do everything Nick said, but here's the other financial piece on your gear. Be reasonable and think about what the gear will and will not accomplish, because gear isn't everything. I know I'm the gear guy, but I'll be the first one to tell you gear isn't everything. Look at what makes sense financially for your budget. Set a goal for time, make it time based in terms of a goal, and then think about ways you can also save money or reduce spending, and then look at extra ways to make fast money outside of YouTube. I've made several videos about freelancing. Freelancing is a faster way to make cash for everybody here than YouTube monetization in terms of time, because you produce a result, you do a thing, somebody pays you. So they might pay you $50 or $100. You can do it even if all you're doing is voiceover or voice acting for them. People, do that. Maybe you can do the Emperor from Star Wars for all the Star Wars channels, and you can help them have a fully armed and operational YouTube video. And so you could make money doing that. You can, it's summer, mow some lawns, do lawn care, do stuff, make $50, make $100, do that 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You have that new camera that you're looking at, or that new lens. You see what I'm saying? So just look at how to be frugal AF. Look at how you can fiscally approach your YouTube journey in a way that's responsible, and then look at your time and how much time you really have, and look at where you like, yes, you have to put time into this to be successful. Andrew, Nick will definitely back me up on that.
Without
But
question.
you have to
Yep.
reasonably also look at what would make YouTube right size in your life, because part of creator burnout, part of stress, part of all of the problems with creator mental health usually come down to a combination of finances, overwork and overexerting oneself, energy and time wise, creating problems in your real world relationships through neglect, and also neglecting yourself and your responsibilities, and just not putting yourself in a position to not be overwhelmed.
Yeah. And if I can add one last thing, another thing, I work with a few people. A couple of friends actually have toy review channels. Shout out to Paul if you're watching. But one thing that we found, especially if you're trying to earn that camera gear, is a lot of the toys he was reviewing are on sites like Amazon already, which has an affiliate program, right? So like I know Roberto could tell you millions of things about affiliate programs, but that's something to consider as well. It's like, hey, if you want to pick this up for yourself, I'll put an affiliate link in the description down below. If you want to get this figure, this toy, this collectible, go ahead and do it. And that can actually help with extra funds, especially that way you don't have to actively wait for monetization in the traditional YouTube sense. So that catalog of content you have can be working for you, because someone out there is like, all right, I'm going to get it.
The Teespring stuff, even if you don't have the merch shelf, go ahead and do Teespring, because it's $5 to $10 a t-shirt, a hoodie margin if you set the pricing correctly. And if you make it something to where even if people aren't fans of you, they could just say that's dope. Like, I mean, the Hustle hoodie is literally just dope for anybody that's about that life. There's a tank top I have with Hustle on it that's for all the people who can still go to the gym if the gym is opened in their area, wear a mask.
As a quick side note, Roberto, if you don't have it there already, do you have that on Spreadshirt also?
I had it on Spreadshirt before Teespring, yeah.
Also, it's there now.
Not the Hustle hoodie. This one, the Always Be Creating one, is over there. I'm about to consolidate.
Yeah, like I have those already. Like I have those, but I don't have any of the new stuff that you've done because I try to get it off of Teespring, and my brother also put some stuff out
because of the shipping. So I'm actually going to put everything on both now.
Yeah. So what I was going to say, what I told him too, is having it available on Spreadshirt for like an international audience as well. So just in case they run into it over there, would definitely be a win.
Yeah. Ooh, that could be for my selling t-shirts, Teespring versus Spreadshirt video. That's perfect. Yeah, because the international shipping, that's an issue. So yeah, but guys, if you have a small audience and you're not monetized with, but people are loyal to you, you can make $5-10 every single 1,000 views with just one sale of a t-shirt or hoodie, which is in some cases going to be better than what you're going to get when you do get monetized with ads anyway. Even when you get monetized with ads, if you're in a lower CPM, because again, I keep saying this is like and not a plug for my channel, but this is why you watch my channel, is I talk about the CPM rates. I show you my CPM rates. Look, personal finance, online business, e-commerce, $15, $20, $40 CPM rates. I'm not even exaggerating those. I've shown the screen shares and live streams and stuff like that. I'm not exaggerating that. But gaming is like anywhere from 0 because you can be demonetized or copyright claimed. It's $0, $3 to $8. It's $0, $3 to $8 to be a YouTube gamer. It is one of the lowest margin things you can do. Entertainment, pranks, comedy, $0 to $5 CPMs. Better staple typically is lifestyle, which would be blogging, but it's also consumer centric. Beauty and tech is good, up to tops at $12 CPMs usually from what I've seen on average, but baseline is going to be closer to like maybe $6 minimum there. So again, it's more lucrative to do a lot of things, but there are categories of YouTube that between like that get a lot of views: gaming, commentary, drama, gossip, that stuff. If it's not outrightly demonetized, it's like topping out at like a $4 CPM if you're lucky. If it's not being demonetized outright, that's the limit. getting a bunch of views isn't going to make you as much money as you guys think. The thing that would probably make you the most money for less stress is literally, one, if you have a small loyal audience that supports you on Patreon, like that's killer if people. But the best thing is, but all that is it's, again, if your audience supports you with their wallet, you are fine as long as you take care of your people. That's the best business model in YouTube. And then if you can supplement that with brands that align with your audience, and then affiliate marketing is another way your audience supports you with their wallet. Those are the things. Those are things. And then use your skills. Use the skills that you're using to be a content creator. Don't be afraid to go out into the real world and say, hey, I'm going to leave my day job, but I'm going to become part of this industry. I mean, like Andrew works in the industry. You know, if Nick and I weren't making a living directly with our audience supporting us and what we do in AdSense and everything like that, me and Nick would work in the industry directly. We kind of do as public speakers and as coaches and stuff like that. We'd just be a bigger part of the industry. My goal is to own more of a part of this industry, to own a piece of every sector of this new economy that we have. That's my end game.
Super chat.
So Donk Ecom says, hey, Nick, sorry I had to leave for a bit. Not sure if you answered this, but is it okay to update tags, titles, etc. after seeing what you rank for after a week later? Also, is monetizing too early a bad thing? So no, monetizing too early is not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Andrew, do you want to take the thing on changing the titles and tags and everything after a week if your video isn't doing great?
Sure. So my thing on changing like the title and such is like, I only would recommend it if like you were completely not performing at all out of the gate, but you honestly believe what you have can work. A lot of times people will just put up a title that they think is well optimized or they think will get clicks and viewership, but reality is that it's not that well optimized, right? Like we talked about earlier, a lot of people go out with the thing that I'm doing everything right. And what we tend to find is, as you said, that's not the case. I would say look at the data, and I always recommend this because sometimes a video can start doing well and then you change it and then it just starts underperforming. So it's a double-edged sword. So was it performing or was it not? I give it a month if it was performing out of the gate to see how it goes. I might do an thumbnail change, but not a complete title, tag, description overhaul in general, because if it isn't performing as well as it was before, that can hurt. Now, similarly, yes, it could be the same with a thumbnail, but a thumbnail is an easier change to go back to compared to a complete video overhaul.
And another approach, which is part of what I said, I think I answered this one earlier, maybe from the forum or maybe from a super chat, I'm not sure. Or it could have just been somebody else asking the question. But also, if you plan ahead of time, then it'll reduce your need to have to change stuff later. So if you plan ahead of time and you commit to it and you're like, okay, this is, I'm writing my title first before I even make the video so I can make sure that it's crystal clear what this video is going to be about. And then I'm going to make the thumbnail. And if you have to make the video content in order to make the thumbnail, then of course, obviously you can't make the thumbnail first, but then, you do put the thumbnail together before you edit the video to make sure that you can, make sure everything that is being represented on the outside before they actually click on it. So you can make sure that once they do click on it, that they're getting what it is that they want out of that particular video. Planning it all on the front end is a much better approach that will help you or help keep you from having to change things compared to having your title and your thumbnail be the very last thing that you do in your description, your tags and all that. Having all that as the last thing that you do puts you in that position to where you're having to shoehorn all of that information around the video instead of actually having that information first, the information that's giving YouTube context, and then building the video around that. So if you plan for it ahead of time, then that will actually save you from having to do that, later.
Super chat.
RB Adventure Couple says, hey, Nick, wondering how much a channel evaluation would run and when I would be able to get one from you. So as of right now, I'm focused on getting my course done. And then I have some other web projects that I'm working on. So as of right now, like I've graduated everybody. I'm not doing consulting at the moment. I'm not doing channel reviews at the moment. But both of these gentlemen on screen, they do offer those services. So you are more than welcome to reach out to them for a channel review or channel evaluation or for consulting. I know Roberto specifically, he also does like group coaching and things like that as well. So feel free to reach out to either one of these gentlemen, and they will get you sorted for that. So next up on our list here, we've got Danny Hatcher. Danny Hatcher uploads one time per week or more, and the channel is a productivity channel using the Notion app. And the goal of the channel is to help other people work smarter and not harder. And the question is, I asked around this topic on Twitter, but does YouTube chapter titles affect SEO/video ranking for a term? So one of the things that the chapters can do is they can actually help you rank for like that specific part of the video, which is a win. And another thing that the chapters do is they also can create a better viewer experience, which ultimately is what YouTube is going for, which can ultimately help everything perform better around that particular video, because then viewers are able to get a satisfactory experience from that content because you're using the chapters to help them find what it is that they care about the most. Thoughts, fellas?
Everything in YouTube is driven by relevancy, performance, and then preference. And that's important, that last part. I will tell you this, and I'll let Andrew take it, is that Google itself as a search engine is also taking the snippets of those videos and populating that as an individual video result. So in Google, you can have a text result for your video. You could have a snippet result for a specific timestamp of a video, and you'll have a video result on top of that. So I definitely think it's, worth pursuing. And that can be extraordinarily valuable for your content. And then if you went even one step further, and then you had a blog post, and another step further, even closed captions of your videos, you have the ability to be searched, referenced, and indexed for every part of your video multiple times. I would say having 6 shots is better than 1.
Exactly. Right. And it's funny you mentioned that, Roberto, because when Daniel Batal was looking up how to, or Batal,
also in the house right now. What's up, Daniel Batal? I hope you are doing great.
But he was, he was looking up how to use the cam link. And because I had a blog post, because I had timestamps before they implemented chapters, my video actually became featured on Google. So it's another way you can work to have your videos work for you on a separate search engine, or not even Google itself. Like I've found that it was featured on Bing of all things. Someone's like, I came through Bing. I'm like, Bing? But you never know how people could find you, right? So like you might
using that, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I'm like, wow. But it's interesting because chapters can really also help your average view duration, especially if someone keeps going back to a certain chapter start and watches that multiple times. And like videos that we have on TubeBuddy that are like top 5s that we've implemented chapters with, like we've seen higher average view duration spikes because people are going back to rewatch a section. So if you use chapters very well, they can be a great help to your channel. Now, I've also would be cautious because I've seen some people put just the bit of information they want in chapters, or like what you came for, and I'm like, that's cool and cute, but if you have a 10-minute video and you literally just are like, here's what you actually care about, that could actually hurt. So just be smart with how you use them.
Yeah, I want to do them with my live streams, but I like the amount of time that I would spend going through that and the amount that I would have to pay somebody else to go through that. That's kind of rough. So
the hack for that is if anybody in the community chooses to volunteer to do your live stream timestamps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which people used to do for us before we had the chapters feature. People would do that for us.
Yeah, I saw somebody else on Twitter talking about doing it for the live streams as well, and I think that would be a great thing just for the sake of people that do come in on the replay being able to hunt down the specific question that they care about. Some of them would have to be summarized, but being able to hunt down the specific question would just be ideal. And for the person I'm talking to about possibly editing clips, that would also help them identify the specific content they need to cut out for clips too.
A workflow for that could be if the mods who are watching the live streams could also kind of like take notes. They would be the best resource probably time-wise for getting what those timestamps are, both for that feature, but then also for your editor. Or another way, for those of you who can afford, or if Nick, you can, in your situation, who can afford to hire somebody, if you hire somebody that's a floater that does basically, and they could be a VA of some kind, but they could be a specialized VA that they just literally, you pay them for X amount of hours per week per se, or you agree to a salary and they do X amount of work or hours per month or something like that. You literally, one of their tasks could in fact be those things that are just a time suck for one person that free up the time of everybody else. You could literally just the quote unquote grunt work, you could just offload that to somebody because it's not in any way skilled. So it's not so valuable as it's just a matter of it's tedious and it sucks up time. And that literally could be one of 10 odious tasks that you pass off to them. And that would be my thought.
So
Yeah, I think that's a solid approach. So my plan today is I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm answering questions. I'm going to just write down timestamps or just a general ballpark time of when I'm like going, and this is how many I've written down.
Yeah, I literally think just hiring somebody that does that. They could even, if they want to do it, they could either do it in real time or they could watch the replay of the streams. But I literally just think in your case, Nick, hiring somebody, and this is where like this is a really good overseas type thing, because I know people are like, oh, hire US or whatever. It's like you don't need to hire someone in the US for this particular task because again, it's not creative. I like hiring US folks and people in the West for like creative work, but for anything that's mechanical or anything that's just tedious and it's like, hey, anyone can do this and it's just gonna suck up time, then I'd rather change someone's life somewhere else in the world and say, all I'm asking for really is your time and the minimal amount of attention to detail, and that's it. And here you go, life-changing money for you, and there you have it. And so I think that that's probably something that streamers could look at, that professionals could look at. You know, just outsource it.
one thing that we do, and my mods will find this out now, on the TubeBuddy channel, when we do timestamps, my mods already usually talk when the subject changes or anything. So I just look at the timestamps of when Discord has recognized they made a comment about it, and I cross-reference, and 9 out of 10 times it's spot on. So I actually, thank you mods for discussing in Discord. I use that as our timestamps, and without fail, it works really well.
Nice. I know that the Stream Deck, they have a thing. Doug mentioned the markers. So I know Elgato has something, and I haven't looked into it yet because this is just a new problem as of last night that I'm trying to solve. But basically, Elgato, to my understanding, has something that I can put some type of marker. I'm not sure if I have to use Streamlabs for it or if I can just do it as at the time. I'm not sure yet. But that's also something that I'm going to explore.
Super chat.
Sugar Blue says, I'm 600 away from getting 20,000 subscribers. High five, fist bump. Nice work. Excellent work. Says I gained them in a month. Whew, even better. High five, fist bump. Nice work. Thank you so much for making videos that help me to get where I am now. Thank you for taking the information and actually applying it to what it is that you're doing, and for making awesome content that apparently an audience really enjoys, and that they show you that appreciation through hitting that subscribe button and coming back and watching more of your stuff. So high five and fist bump to you for for putting in that effort and actually going through the process of doing all the stuff. So high five and fist bump to you for that, man. Great job.
Gentlemen, I actually have to get going. Happy 4th of July, Nick. Roberto, subscribe to both of these amazing gentlemen. Nick, drink water.
Andrew can as well. If he can, you can too. So yeah, definitely subscribe to Andrew as well. You can just look for him as Andrew Can. He also runs the TubeBuddy channel, but you can look for his channel. He does like filmmaking type content. Also shares some stuff on just like production and some YouTube stuff in his live streams and things like that as well. But if you just look for Andrew Can, ANDREWKAN, then you'll find his channel as well. I might have him down in the description, but I'm not 100% sure yet because he doesn't come on here a lot. But I might have him down in the description already. I'm not 100% sure. Okay.
There's a question someone had about asking other YouTubers for collabs, and this is where the chapters would come in handy because Nick talked about that exactly 1 hour ago.
Yeah. And basically the idea is just having a plan of some kind. So if you are, trying to reach out to people for a collaboration, having some type of plan to where, you can say, hey, I've got this video that I'm working on or that I have an idea for, and I think that you would be a great fit to, be a part of this. That's a great way to get your foot in the door, and you're approaching somebody with a plan so they don't have to keep, trying to reach out. Like if you were to just say, hey, let's collab, then in that situation, they have to go through the process of saying, okay, well, maybe what's your channel, what idea do you have, and things like that. And you can just completely omit that step by including your channel, including the plan that you have, and including all of the information that they would want to know or that they would actually follow up with you with, so that they can be able to make that decision right there on the spot when they're looking at the email instead of having to explore to figure it out.
Super chat.
Creative Row Gamers, thank you for the super chat there, the super sticker. Thank you. Okay, next question that we have here on the list. Hey, Heidi says that you should add a stretching segment to the live stream. Like, hey, everybody, now it's time to stand up, stretch your legs out, right? Stand
I'll
up,
probably
stretch-
do that in my Twitch streams, to be honest with you. In my Twitch streams, there will literally be segments. All right, everybody, it's just time for us all to stretch. We're all going to do it.
Nice, that's good.
Super chat.
Adult Education Ingredients by Rosalia Wong says, $7.99. Basically, my answers are all in the YouTube Nick made. We'll watch again and again. Yeah. So like when you like these streams currently, so I used to unlist them, but now that I'm having other people come on and like that kind of stuff, I'm actually leaving them up these days. I just don't, have them directly on my channel page. But if you go to my video watch or my video watch page, my videos page, you'll be able to find all the live streams there to where you can go through and you can get tons of information out of those.
It doesn't feel like the live streams have.
The Nimminati.
It doesn't feel like the live streams have negatively impacted your channel in any way algorithmically.
Yeah, they never have.
Yeah,
they never have. It's just the reason I unlisted them before is because if any content is being suggested to anybody, I want it to be my best stuff. And the live streams, like it'll take, like if you click on my live stream, it takes me, 5 minutes just to even start to get to like any type of actual content. After I get past like, welcoming people and shout outs and the sponsorship stuff and, like all of that. So just the replay value isn't great if you don't already know what is in the stream, right?
Yeah, which is why it works.
Them, but if you haven't watched them, then
versus the opposite with our friend Sean Cannell at Think Media, and also with the Video Influencers channel, the way that they do streams, they're set up specifically, as you pointed out many times, just for that purpose.
Yeah, like those are great for the replay. Those are great for like while they're live, like all the way around. It's fantastic. So Creative Sessions, welcome to the channel membership. So for you, make sure that you check the community feed here on YouTube when you get the chance. There's some stuff in there for you. Also, next time that you're on Facebook, you want to look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Make sure that you join that, fill out all the questions on the way in. And if you're one of the people that are like, hey, I want to maintain my privacy and I don't want people to know my name behind the channel, then you can actually set or make a Facebook page based on your channel name, and then you can join the group as your actual channel name as well if you prefer to go that route.
Super chat.
Nad Nap says, hello, I have a funny gaming channel. I want to promote the videos in the best way. Most of my traffic is from Reddit critiques, which negatively affect my retention. What is a great way to promote? So first off, I want to hop on two things here. So Roberto and I are both regular Reddit users. We're active in the communities there. We're always like answering questions, that people have and just giving, random tips to people. And one of the things that both of us constantly see is that in a lot of those subreddits, people are using those through channel critiques and channel or video reviews and that kind of stuff. They're using that as a way to hopefully get people to come over and look at their videos so that hopefully they'll get a viewer or a subscriber. And that's just the wrong approach.
Because they're using it like sub for sub.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is. It's just another version of sub for sub. So the idea there, if you are, considering that, or if you're already doing that, and I'm saying this for everybody, not just you, Ned Naps, I'm just letting everybody else know. But basically the idea there is that when you're doing that, you're actually showing your content to people that don't care about your content. And they're also the wrong people for your channel if they don't care about your content. And because of that, you're actually working against yourself, just like in the situation that Nad Naps is having, saying that when I put my videos there, and they even say that, they promote them that way. But when they put their videos there, it negatively affects the retention because the people that are actually coming to give the feedback, they don't care. They're just coming and they're giving the feedback because they have to give feedback in order to be able to post their videos to where they're getting feedback on their stuff. And it's just this endless loop of something that doesn't work. So in order to fix that situation, Basically, the best way to promote your content, like on Reddit or on Facebook or any of those places, is to actually share your content with the people that would actually watch the content if it was presented to them on YouTube. If you don't know who that is, then don't promote off of YouTube. Let YouTube do the work for you, and you do that by making compelling titles, making compelling thumbnails, and making content that people enjoy. And it can be a process, right? Getting that ball rolling initially. However, once you get the ball rolling, you're being put in front of the right audience who's continually responding to the content that you're putting out, and they continually keep coming back and watching more of your videos. As an example, like if you look at my channel, right? Every single video on my channel, it doesn't matter what it is that you're into in terms of content creation for YouTube. Every video on my channel applies to you in some way, shape, or form. If it doesn't apply to you now, then it will apply to you in the future. So if you don't make videos on your phone, if you go on vacation and you're like, hey, I don't want to take my computer, but I need to make some stuff on my phone, I've got videos for it. If you are not live streaming, but down the road, you're like, hey, I'm going to try live streaming, I've got videos for it, right? If you're doing YouTube tips, I got videos for it. Mindset stuff, I got videos for it. So the idea there is that all of my content is directly targeted towards people that are trying to be a content creator on YouTube. So because of that, once I fine-tuned that over time, YouTube clearly knows exactly who it is that they should show my content to, based on when I do publish a video, the people that are already involved in the content, that already subscribe to the channel, they come in, and based on how those people respond to it, then YouTube starts trying to show it to those ideal people that are caring about that specific thing at that point in time. So basically, the best way to promote your content is by doing it well on YouTube already before you start sharing it elsewhere, if you don't know who it is that you're actually trying to target with your content. But if you do know who it is that you're trying to target, then in that situation, all you do is you just simply find the subreddits, you find the Facebook groups to where you make the content that those people would enjoy, even if it was presented to them randomly on YouTube. And when you do that, your content is actually welcomed in those places. And it's not that you're not spamming, you're not doing anything like that. Your content is actually welcome because you're adding value to that community when you do share it. But you got to make sure that you're also active in that community, that you're not just swinging by, dropping a link and getting out of there, that you're an active participant in those communities where you're sharing your content as well. Any additional feedback there, Roberto?
So like for any channel, including a gaming channel, but I'll go specific, like, because I am, like I said, I do games for a hobby, and not just video games, but even, again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if I, instead of asking people to give me feedback on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Video in a random small YouTuber subreddit, I'd be scrolling through and active in Yu-Gi-Oh! Subreddits, and then I would make a video about why Chaos Max Dragon isn't trash, or I would make a video saying it is trash even, and then I would debate and argue myself, and I'd make the most creative video. But I would also use arguments that are the arguments that people are finding in an active subreddit where they have the most upvotes or where it's been conflict, and I would siphon from that attention. I would siphon from the conflict. I would argue both sides. I would literally just start making what I call Reddit fodder, and I would literally just make the video that somebody's going to post in Reddit just to support their own damn arguments.
Right. Roger Wakefield in the house. What's up, man? Mike Phillips also in the house. What's up, dude? Nice to see you here. Mike left a super chat saying happy 4th, Nimminati. Oops. Double tap there. Saying happy 4th, Nimminati. ASMR Dreammore says, what is your goal on YouTube? Question for both. Roberto, go.
It's a combination because it's several parts. It's to pass on what I've learned throughout my long life and career, to somebody who might be a younger version of me, either because they think like me or they are on a similar wavelength, or to inspire and educate people who might come from a similar background, nerdy kids, Black and Latino kids who may not think that there's a room for them in creative services or technology or entrepreneurship because they don't have an example of that in their own family or their own community, or because maybe what their experience of the culture has been that's not been promoted. And then also to help small business owners from all walks of life realize how to use social media and technology and platforms, things that don't cost a lot of money, that can allow them to grow and have that financial freedom so they can do meaningful things in the world, and they're not always, hustling to death. It's a matter of hustling smart, not just hard. And so my goals with YouTube are, can my channel achieve that? Then what it's supposed to do for me personally is, can this be a way that grows my name, my brand, my business, in addition to my legacy, and then helps me build up to where I have the ability as a multimillionaire to make bigger impacts and to put more of my time and more of my money and resources into things that I want to happen. STEM education, more for the arts and people, and venture capital for artists and filmmakers and performers and dancers and theater folks and people who want to invent things and code and so on and so forth and everything. That takes money, that takes resources, capital I don't have right now. Can YouTube help me change people's lives as an educator? And then can it help me change my life as an entrepreneur to be able to allow me to do the big things that I want to do later in my life? And that's what my personal goals with YouTube are. It's an engine for my legacy.
And with mine, basically all I'm doing is trying to help content creators learn how to navigate this stuff, because the amount of potential that's here is just ridiculous in terms of, the opportunities that can come from YouTube. Roger Wakefield in the house, what's up, dude? But basically, like, the opportunities that come from YouTube and the asset that YouTube can be, and that the amount of attention that YouTube can drive is such a valuable thing. And I want to help people tap into that in as many ways as I possibly can. And in terms of like the other stuff, like, sure, I make a great income off of this, but like my lifestyle was cool before I even came onto YouTube in the first place. And like, this is just kind of helping continue that. But basically like on my personal side, like everything's like, cool. Like I'm happy with it. And I just like to just make stuff and create stuff and share information and teach people how to do stuff. And I also think that there's also a very negative side of YouTube. And with my particular type of content that I make and the way that I am and the things that I believe, I think that through the way that I share information and through the subtle things that I say and that I talk about, like in my live streams and in my videos. Another thing that I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to create just like a positive ripple through all of the people that are watching the content, and like the people that are picking up on some of those positive things that I'm doing with my content and some of the positive messages that I share in the content. Like I'm trying to create ripples through you who are also making content, impacting other people as well. I'm trying to basically take some of that negativity and turn it around to where it's more of a positive experience, and that you're putting more positivity out there. Because maybe if I say something in a video that kind of encourages you to where maybe you were like, hey, you know what, I'm actually, I don't know if this is even the right thing to do. Why am I even on YouTube in the first place? And then like, let's say that I share like an uplifting, positive message with you. And then you're like, you know what? Yeah, that makes total sense. And I'm going to keep going. And then YouTube ends up, a year later ends up completely changing your life, or it doesn't even change your life, but it just takes things to a point to where like, yeah, this is going great. And you start putting positivity out into the world, then that ripple is accomplished. And with every single person that I can do that with, then that's a huge win. That's a huge win for me. What I'm trying to do is that, keep putting light out there into the world.
Yeah. Like Nick, I mean, it sounds like hokey when we say that stuff, but it's the truth. And we've seen so many people's lives changed through being able to do this. Somebody in my community, she was homeless 16 months ago with her son, who is a special needs child, and now she is crushing it. She had the great position of just this past week. She was in an awkward position to where she didn't know if the people she was working for were going to do the right thing, and she was prepared to walk away and lose like $8,000 a month and know that she would still be okay. And literally 16 months ago, she was homeless. That's a massive transformation. The ability to play any role, even a small one, in somebody having that turnaround in their life is like, I mean, you can't even put a price on it, really. Like, just knowing that it's like you made some kind of impact, or that you made some kind of difference. There are people we know in this community that they just made their first $1,000 a month, and for them, that's life-changing money. Like, to be able to do that without having to necessarily like work 3 jobs. Like, there are people here, there are young people that this has been the place where they found acceptance for the first time in their lives. They've been bullied at school. They don't feel like they belong. They found a place to fit, and they found people who like what they do and share their interest and will talk to them about it. Like, that's amazing. And the fact that we get to every day help those people is just like, I mean, I feel like we have one of the best jobs in the world.
I do too. Like I talked to my brother about that, and like one of the things that that we say is we're just like like, man, this is just so awesome because one, it's like it's easy. Like it's hard, but it's easy. Like it's hard because it's like like you have to come up with ideas and you have to have like a plan and strategy and all that good stuff. But in terms of what you actually do, right? So so you sit in an air conditioned room, you turn on the camera, you talk to the camera for a bit, turn it off. You upload it, or if you edit it, whatever it is that you do, and and you do that, and then you work on whatever other projects that you're working on, and you're still in a nice, comfortable, air conditioned environment. It's not like you're digging ditches, you're not building houses, you're not you're not doing anything like crazy. It's like in terms of what anything that you do in like an environment like this, like it's easy work, right? Because you're just like like you're in a comfortable environment when you're doing it, and all like 90% of the work, 95% of the work is all happening up here.
Yeah.
And it's not like hard labor work, so it's still work because it's up here.
Yeah.
It's just not,
and I just want to be careful when we say that. That's not to take away from the part of it that is the mental health or mental strain of that, because we see creators break under. I'll say it from even the entrepreneur side. I see people who have quote unquote, oh great, you have an easy desk job and you get to boss people around. That's not what being a business owner is. It's having the anxiety, the constant anxiety of, if I make a wrong decision, somebody that can't pay their rent, or we're on the hook for delivering for these other people whose business relies on us, and those people won't be able to pay their, like, the pressure and stress of a mental job can even bleed over into physical ailments that can affect your health. So it's like, okay, the strain on your back is less, but you're also more likely maybe to unfortunately have a heart attack or a stroke. So like there's like, so like there's trade-offs in everything. And my hope is, with you and me, I think we do some of the best job of giving people realistic expectations of, this will not feel easy. You will think so because you're not doing your old job or you're this or that. But when you go full time on this, what you've done is you've eliminated all those problems, as bad and real as they are, in exchange for a different set of problems. And what you have to reckon with is which set of problems are best suited to you and that you can endure with the least amount of suffering. Because there are some people that honestly, I think, might actually be happier in some cases doing things with their hands than taxing their brain if they have that personality.
Roger Wakefield, he was like, hey, what's wrong with digging ditches, right? Yeah. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with digging ditches.
I know you're not, but I wanted to make sure no one takes you out of context.
Hang out the aircon, right?
Yeah, so, I just want to make sure no one ever takes you out of context. I like sitting there thinking about it.
Yeah, appreciate that. So so for anybody that does any type of like hard labor, I'm saying is that it's just that like uploading videos and like recording content and things like that, like it's just such an easy thing compared to all of the other things that that are backbreaking, so to speak, that we can do with people.
Super chat.
Tube Spanner, Danielle in the house. What is up? And for anyone wishing to build their channels, watch and take notes, there is pure gold in the advice given right here. Absolutely, there is. Thank you for that, Danielle. Tube Spanner, by the way, everybody, I've got a link to that down in the description down below as well. It's a great YouTube workflow tool. Helps you with like script.
Yeah, I need to make Yeah, no, I need to make a video about 10 tools. Actually, you've made this video like I think 5 times. I need to get on it. But Tube Spanner is definitely Tube Spanner's definitely earned a place in the top 10 tools. I need to use it more in my workflow because like I was doing something just the other day and I was realized, and by the time I was done, I was like, I probably could have done that with Tube Spanner, and I probably could have done it in half the time.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier without question.
Super chat.
Oops, sorry, wrong one. Or actually, no, that was right. Okay, so just for Joy says, hey, Nick and Roberto, if anyone is looking for a solid group coaching, I highly recommend Awesome Creator Academy. And I just want to go ahead and put the .com on there as well, awesomecreatoracademy.com. That's Roberto's coaching program that he has, his group coaching program. She just recently joined, and she's been super active. She's been active in our Thursday Q&As, our Tuesday live training, the Facebook group. She's been commenting on there's over 20 hours of video training, and she's been commenting on everything as she goes through it and saying what she learned and how she may have not thought about these things. It's so nice. Thank you for being part of Awesome Creator Academy.
.com. And like, whoever you guys work with as a YouTube coach, whether it's me, Nick, Brian, whoever's courses you buy, just like understand who fits your personality, and then also look at where you are in life and what you need. And by the way, most of you should still just use our free content, and like at bare minimum buy Brian's book Tube Ritual and buy YouTube Secrets, and that's the extent of money that most of you, I should be talking myself out of money, it's the extent of what most of you need if you are under 5,000 subscribers can be achieved.
The YouTube Creator Academy, that's 100% free, provided by YouTube, and that's a great, like, basically, like the thing that's awesome about the YouTube Creator Academy, like if you're a new content creator, even if you're an experienced creator, still go through the YouTube Creator Academy from time to time, because every time you go through it, because you know how it is, like, you know, as you progress, you know, as you learn, you see things in a different way. So because of that, like, even if you're an experienced creator and you're like, you know, hey, I've got a pretty good knack for this, or I'm doing great, still go through the YouTube Creator Academy from time to time, because you'll see it differently, like every single time that you go through it. And it's just a great source of information in terms of just the general best practices that you should be doing when it comes to YouTube. Now, they don't get into like strategy and like that kind of stuff.
No, that's our fun thing.
Yeah, that's our jam. But in terms of like the, you know, just the best practices, the things that you need to make sure that you're keeping aware of, you definitely need to make sure that you're going through the YouTube Creator Academy.
And it tells you
as well.
And it tells you how YouTube sees things.
Karma Cash Flow, thank you for the super chat. Go ahead. All you said, and it tells you how YouTube sees things.
It tells you how YouTube interprets this phrase or this thing. Or, and by the way, I'm just gonna like my OCD is kicking in, so I'm gonna do the standing desk thing for our heads to be level. But like the thing that I like about the fact that you always promote what they have there is that you learn a lot by just learning how YouTube interprets things and learning YouTube terminology. Most people struggle on YouTube without actually reading the instruction manual for doing basic things in YouTube. They're not doing certain things. And one of the reasons we recommend TubeBuddy, who's sponsoring the live stream, is they help give you a resource and a tool to do some of those things in the right order and to do them more easily, and to have something sometimes as an interface to say that, hey, you did that thing that you're supposed to do. Because sometimes we just, as creators, we'll focus so much on making a video and we'll focus so much on getting it out that we won't think of all of the things to do to take it out. It's like, I remember back when I was a kid and I was working at the mall, that there's literally, you had to go through a protocol. You can't just open the store. You have to go through all these things before you can even open the store. So you have to come in an hour before opening, and you have to do all these things. You have to, you know, set the cash register. You have to go through this checklist. You have to make sure that this thing is out in the front of the store on display for the right week. You have to do all of this. You have to double check and make sure that everybody's going to be on time for their shift. You have to, you know, make sure that you have the deposit bags labeled for later that night for dropping off the money. You have to do all of these things before you can even open up the store and start receiving customers. YouTube is no different than that, Nick. Like, that's, and I think people are like, oh, I'm just gonna push
a learning curve in general. Like, there's a learning curve. Like, if you like you know, Roberto had online marketing experience, just online experience in general before he came onto YouTube. I did as well. And the things that we learned there are things that people that come onto YouTube that don't have that experience, they still have to go through the painful process of learning those things that we had learned over the course of like years of doing other stuff. Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, if you don't know that information, then you have to, you know, learn it in order to be able to see things the right way. And the YouTube Creator Academy is a great way to, or a great place, I should say, to be able to, you know, give yourself a little bit of a jump start. And like Roberto was saying, you know, understanding the terminology behind things and understanding just basic, you know, things like the structure of your title. And, you know, like the thing that I'm always talking about in terms of making sure that you put the most important thing towards the front of your title, like that's also something that they mentioned in the YouTube Creator Academy. I go a little bit more in depth with it, but that's something that they mentioned in the YouTube Creator Academy as well, which if you were to go through it, then you would see stuff like that. And you'd be like, oh, never even thought about that. So now I got to make sure that I'm, you know, thinking about that next time I write a title. So it just gives you tons of really good information.
For $0.
For
Welcome
$0.
to the Nimminati.
Matt Gibre, welcome to the channel membership. Just as a heads up, make sure you check the community tab here on YouTube. There's some stuff in there for you. Also, make sure that next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. It's our members-only Facebook group. Make sure you join it, fill out all the questions on the way in, and we'd love to have you as part of the group if you head over there. Hey, Roberto, will you hold this down for me for 1 second? I need to step away literally for like 2 minutes.
Absolutely. And I'll check for the super chats to see if there's anything we've missed. I don't have access to the form for the questions. So Karma Cashflow, thank you for the super chat. Ron, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Matt, for becoming a new member of the Nimminati. And so, yeah, just holding it down here. But yeah, let's see. I saw another thing here. Yes. Yeah, no, I'd love to work with you too. I just always like to be honest with you guys. So Encrypted Angels, yes, feel free to work with me. I'm not saying don't ever work with somebody, but I'm telling a lot of you that you can benefit from the free content we're putting out, the free videos that YouTube makes, the free resources they offer. You can get affordably. Brian's book is back there on the shelf. YouTube Secrets is back on the shelf from Sean Cannell and Benji Travis. There's a lot of great content you guys can benefit from with no investment. I do believe to be successful at anything, you have to invest money at some point. And this is just prop money that I play with. But you have to invest money at some point. But I think people might believe that they can just use that as a shortcut. And there aren't any real shortcuts, my friends. There's no shortcuts. But yeah, what's the easiest way to increase impressions? There's no easy way to, the Scottish Gamer, there's no easy way to increase impressions. Impressions are based on categorization of your content, and it's also based on performance of your content. And so YouTube, even in analytics, will tell you that the impressions that you get will be based on how videos perform over time. Your initial impressions, though, are down to interest and categorization, which is topics, which is why a lot of small YouTubers, if they jump on a trend, like let's say a new phone or a new camera comes out, if a new phone or camera comes out and a YouTuber covers that, they will get a lot of impressions even while being a small YouTuber. Being a small YouTuber doesn't really matter in that regard. If you have optimized your video correctly, even if you're not covering a new camera, but you're covering cameras or camera lenses or microphones like Podcastage. Podcastage is a great YouTube channel to check out for audio gear, and he's a great member of this community. But Podcastage knows that microphones have a long shelf life and that they're not refreshed very often. And for search, that he will constantly show up anytime someone looks at a microphone or researches a microphone or listens to any audio test. His videos are going to be promoted and recommended because at that point, YouTube has said this person is interested in audio gear. What YouTube videos and what YouTube channels have been proven on their performance to be really strong in helping people who need audio gear. YouTube's going to promote that content. One of the reasons Peter McKinnon was able to take off so quickly as a new content creator is that he was able to have his videos served to a lot of people who are looking for tutorials. And the tutorial space, people burn out pretty quickly. And so the best tutorials on YouTube largely end up being outdated. And they also are by very talented, very educated people at the software, but they don't necessarily always have the most energetic personality. So here comes Peter McKinnon with all the style, flair, confidence, and on-camera charisma in the world, from being able to do up-close magic. This is life experience. Having been holding a camera for 2 decades since being a teenager, having been paid to be a commercial photographer and videographer. Here's someone who comes with all the skill, all the experience, confidence built in, from a wonderful life that he built before YouTube at 30 years old, and is able to come in when there's all this outdated content around cameras, and around photography that is not as exciting. All this outdated Premiere Pro and Photoshop tutorials done years and years and years ago by great people, professionals, but not performers. And he comes in and he's a professional and a performer. And there's this proven demand for this content, and then it's different. So it performs, and then anytime this evergreen thing that people always are looking for because someone's always buying a camera. Someone's always downloading an Adobe product. Adobe did $3.1 billion, I think, last quarter. My stocks are doing really well. Like like Adobe's always crushing it. There's always someone new to be a video editor on YouTube, to be a photographer, to be a graphic designer, to be an illustrator. There's always a new artist. And so there's that pool of there will always be attention here. Peter McKinnon is now crushing it.
Even with tech, people will be like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to make a video on like a thing because like the release of that thing is over." Like today, I just picked up a GoPro, like one of the GoPros with a media mod on it. So I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be watching videos about this particular thing. So like anything that's still on the market, like you can even continue to make videos on that stuff because people are always buying that stuff.
Best video for you, Nick, is to put the new model GoPro's name in the title, but then make it video editing, because there's not nearly enough of that, and there's not hardly any new videos on editing on a GoPro.
No, I'm not making it for my channel. I'm saying so I can learn, because I have the 7 and I need to figure out like what features and all that stuff, because I got it because of this thing, the mod for it. But I just need to watch some videos to bring me up to speed on like any changes or whatever that they've made.
Yeah, I mean, even D, if he did something for editing GoPro footage on your phone, would kill. Like, I'll talk to him about that. But but the point we're making is a lot of you are afraid to be competitive in a niche instead of just being competitive in a niche. Like, literally, Pete had the level, and you may not have got the experience to have the level. That's okay. But I'm saying he was literally nobody, and nobody had ever heard of him. And you already had Jared Polin, Frono's Frodo. You already had Tony and Chelsea Northup. You already had Jason Vong. You already had you already had Nathaniel Dodson from TutVid. You already had Terry White from Adobe. You already had people established in that space. Peter McKinnon, but they were professionals, and Jared is more of a performer, and Tony and Chelsea can be entertaining, but like Peter is wildly entertaining. No offense to any other creator, but I'm just saying he brought professionalism and performance in a way that had never been seen.
Off the charts too. Even his stage performance is absolutely incredible. He is like next level entertainer.
But he had nothing to go with. So why did YouTube promote him? It wasn't rigged in any way. It was down to the fact that it's like, here is content that there's always a proven demand for, and because his stuff was different, he was getting word of mouth. People were sharing the content. People were talking about it. The engagement he was getting was good. It was performance based, but also preference based, because there were people who are like, I watch videos about this. This is my preference. I watch videos about cameras. I'm trying to be a photographer. Wow, this guy made me excited. I was curious about photography. This guy made me excited. He went with he even made videos about photography and doing it with your phone, that thing that's accessible to everybody. He did it. And what did he do? Timing wise, he did it around the release of the new iPhone. So that was timing. And then so seeing that, and there was just all these little subtle things that basically come down to being good and being smart, my friend. So if you were like, how do I get more impressions? How do I get YouTube to promote me? How do I get more views? How do I get more subs? We're telling you, it straight up is a matter of how good you are, how thoughtful you are. And yes, the people who blow up, it's timing, but timing isn't an accident if you're paying attention. If you're watching something, if you're watching where something is, you're slow. If you're watching where it's clearly going to be, you're not. Where it's clearly going to be, there are people who make entire blow up careers in niches you've never heard of because you're not interested in that thing, because they got timing right. They came to the scene when like the new whatever came out, the new TV show, the new piece of tech, the new whatever. They look for where everything is heading, because it's usually somewhat predictable, or they find the one thing that is predictable and they capitalize on it. And so it's not really a secret. It's something that every athlete in the world pretty much knows. And I keep bringing it back to this, that just play YouTube like a sport, treat it like a sport, have those expectations, have the discipline, learn to take a punch, learn to say, even when I don't feel like it, I got to do it.
You know what? Like, yeah, I'm going to take this seriously. Like I think something magical happens when you go from like, well, I'm just going to upload videos and see what happens. Like when you have that approach versus the, okay, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to upload content. I'm going to pay attention to what's going on. Like I'm actually going to commit and take this seriously. I think there's like something magical that happens there because all of a sudden you go from just like relying on luck and hoping things work out to like knowing what is happening, knowing what people respond to, knowing the right decisions to make and things like that. I think that's just a huge difference.
Casual versus competitive.
To it. And like, I think there's a lot involved with that commitment though, too, because you have the side of like, okay, well, if I commit, if it fails, then I can't say that I was just doing it for fun and to see what would happen, because then, then I have to own the fact that it didn't work out and that I didn't, that I didn't do the right thing. But when you just lean on, well, I'm just going to upload videos and see what happens, then you don't have that risk involved with, like if it doesn't grow or you don't get that traction, then there's no like real loss in that situation. Whereas if you commit, then you got to own, all the different things that happen. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, like the niches, like even by the way, like people like that we talked about that, like, okay, you guys may not know how somebody's crushing it in something you've never heard of. Yeah, someone brought up ASR Dream brought up, yeah, there are people that have no idea what ASMR are, and there's people making millions that come out of nowhere, quote unquote, in ASMR. People blow up in that on YouTube and TikTok all the time. Roger Wakefield, like, just a few years ago was a professional plumber. Now he's a freaking rock star. It's like, he may not be a big deal to a lot of you, but in the world of people talking about professional trades, in the world of people talking about how professionals can make content on YouTube and LinkedIn, he's a celebrity.
VidCon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, first year on YouTube, he was on a panel at VidCon because he's changing the game, so to speak, for his trade, which is absolutely incredible.
And for people in trade-based careers and businesses, absolutely. There's an entire niche of, and frankly, it may not be a big niche in YouTube, but it's literally tens of millions of Americans that are in the niche of what Roger does. And so some of you, the thing is, you're thinking too much about the YouTube metagame. You're thinking way too much about the YouTube metagame and what would be popular on YouTube, instead of what you can be best in class at, what you could be world class in, and bringing that to YouTube for the people like you. I came to YouTube not to become famous or to do anything that I thought was popular. I came to YouTube to pass on education around, hey, I learned these things and it helped me have a career, a good paying job without a college education, because I had skills that were marketable and are in demand and that can be learned on the internet if only somebody would teach you, and maybe somebody's not teaching it my way. That's all I did. And then, well, look at me. I got to go from someone who, as a kid, I was making $6 an hour to where I make multiple six figures a year now without a college education beyond community college, which I paid for out of pocket by working my ass off. So I came for those people. I came for that. I came for people who's like, I need a good paying skill in life and a career, and I need to learn stuff, but college is expensive or it's not in the cards for me. Well, I wanted value to be there for someone like that. I didn't think that I would get 10,000 people in a year around that, Nick, especially back then with my low energy, boring ass. I didn't think I was going to pull that off. And so, yeah, let alone 100,000 in 3 years. That doesn't normally happen, by the way, to tutorial-based channels, or back then to career information-based channels. Now it's obvious, and now you could, of course, do that. But when I started doing YouTube seriously in 2013, that was not heard of. I didn't realize that even then, or I would be bigger, because then I would have made a lot of videos about how I quote unquote blew up then, or how I got how I went from 20,000 to 70,000 in a year. I didn't make that video. If I had made that video, I would have had people, the story would have been about how I grew so fast, and I just never. Now that's exactly, but see, back then no one knew to do that. Now we all know that if you blow up in YouTube, you create a storyline about blowing up in YouTube, and it blows you up even bigger. We all know that now.
The magic of learning along the way, right? And identifying those things as they happen. Doug Houston YT says, hey, question, a good place to start or a good platform for selling digital products. So for that, you can use Selfie as a place to get started, or
Selfie.
So you can use that as a place to get started. You can use Etsy as a place to get started. You can use, technically, you can build like a WordPress site and use WooCommerce to be able to sell things digitally through that. You can also use something like Shopify as well to sell things through Shopify, which is basically, it's kind of like WordPress, but it's hosted on their stuff. So instead of you having to get hosting and install the stuff and all that, basically it's all hosted with Shopify, and then you pay them the fee for it, and then you can still, add themes and that sort of thing that you pay for. But in terms of the actual hosting of it, they take care of that for you. And there's also integrations that you can do with like Facebook and things like that, and a bunch of other stuff with Shopify as well. But all of those would be a great place to get started. But if you want the lowest barrier to entry, then going with something like Selfie would be a great place to start, because they collect emails for you that you can market to. They have to where you can customize your store and make it kind of look cool, and then it's easy for people. And they've already got the actual process figured out or mapped out for you in terms of somebody makes a purchase, then this particular process happens to make sure that they get whatever it is that they purchase. They have all of that mapped out already, and you don't have to worry about troubleshooting anything or figuring it out, because they have all of that taken care of. But they do charge you a fee for it.
Selfie, Gumroad, Etsy, and Sendal are really good. We're not going to teach you how to make viral videos. And like, I've got a video with over 1 million. I think, Nick, you have 2 videos with over 1 million or something like that. One, we're not going to teach you how to make viral videos. You know why we're not going to teach you how to make viral videos? Viral videos largely come down to a lot of factors outside of your control. We might as well teach you, quote unquote, how to get rich quick or how to win the damn lottery, because it's like the only person that I believe can teach you how to make viral videos that isn't a scam. I only believe one man can do that. Daryl Eves. Daryl Eves is the only person that I believe can teach anybody.
Viral content.
Like, Daryl Eves is the only person that I believe can teach people how to make viral videos. And the reality is, if you want to go through that, and one, it's going to be expensive, and number two, the reality is I'm going to be the harshest version of myself. Most of you will never make a viral video, and most of you should not bother trying to make a viral video. Viral videos for you will probably be an accident, and here's my point, and here's why. Look at what goes viral on YouTube right now.
I want to pull this back just a tad really quick. So
yeah.
So basically, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to like viral content, like the thing that Roberto is talking about is viral in terms of like you're being put all over YouTube, like
2 million to 10 million views on YouTube is what I'm talking about when I say viral.
Yeah. So in terms of the like there's viral within your niche, and then there's viral like on the platform. 2 totally different things.
Exactly. That is what I'm talking about. Viral on the platform.
I just wanted to clarify.
You can blow up in your niche. Blowing up in your niche is completely different. Thank you for making sure I'm not taken out of context, Nick. But here's the thing I want to show you. Like, if you look right now at what's viral on YouTube today, if you look at what's viral on YouTube today, if you work a 9-to-5 job, you don't have the means to make a viral video 99.9% of the time. And anybody who thinks that they can teach how to make viral videos should do that, should prove it, and should make a crap ton of money, and you will literally be part of $1 million industry if you think you can do that. But here's the thing, and reason I don't believe that, because here's the thing, it is not practical for most people. It is not practical for most people, because virality is also about doing it in a very short period of time and doing stuff overnight. That does not happen for most people. And why does it not happen for most people? You can make a viral video if you, like Mr. Beast, can afford to put $10,000 to $100,000 to $1 million into a video that might not work. Most of us cannot do that. And that's the level of spectacle he has created on YouTube. People can make viral videos if they literally can afford to go out and buy $1,000 worth of DIY material to be able, and also have 50 hours to put into a single video. Most stay-at-home parents that I know can't do that. Most single parents that I know cannot do that. Most college kids that I know cannot do that. Janelle Iliana worked for 2 years to save up the money to buy a $10,000 van and spend another $10,000 retrofitting it. Most of you do not have $20,000 in disposable income to be able to create something that you can use as a prop in your videos. Okay, that is the truth. Most of you do not have what my friend Scotty from the channel Strange Parts, most of you, and right now it wouldn't be a great idea, don't have access to China. Most of you wouldn't have access to Chinese manufacturing companies. Most of you don't have the skill and acumen to build an iPhone from scratch and source the parts and document it every step of the way. And most of you do not have the 120 hours he put into not only making his first YouTube video, but learning how to make a video at all in the process. And you don't have 6 months to dedicate to making a viral video. Mr. Beast has a crew of 15 people that help work on his videos. I'm telling you, most of you do not have the capacity and the resources to make a viral video today in YouTube. And
outside of hopping on a trend.
Outside of hopping on a trend, outside of hopping out of a trend, and outside of luck. I'm telling you, in the same way that I would realistically tell you guys, we all know that one of the most realistic ways to become a millionaire is to buy real estate. Most people don't have the disposable income saved up to do that, right? But we all know that that's true. Most people, we know that going into the stock market is a way that someone might become a millionaire over a period of time. Most people don't have the kind of cash in the stock market that it takes for that to happen with compound interest. And why, when I say it's not something you should aim for, I mean right now, in most of your lives right now, realistically, a lot of you will be gambling. Realistically, a lot of you would be gambling. Realistically, a lot of you would be taxing yourself and would be very disappointed with the results to where you will not, like, I think you get what I'm trying to say, Nick. It's like there's a reason most people fail at business. There's a reason most people fail at YouTube. You and I have the data. We have the stats. We know that most videos on YouTube never get 1 million views in their lifetime. 60% of videos on YouTube never get 1,000 views. So the idea that someone's going to get 2 million views to 10 million views, I just don't want to lie to people. And I think that most people, one, those people don't even know what they want. So knowing their niche, they don't even know what they want. 2, most people don't know how to properly use and allocate their time. Most people are still learning how to just make a video that's well edited. Most people barely have the confidence to hit record. The idea that everybody should want to hit this virality, and frankly, there's a certain amount of attention that's not healthy for some people. So like, I don't believe in it. And I believe the only person that I believe that I've met that can teach people how to make viral videos is Daryl Eves. And I still think the barrier to entry to making viral videos in 2020 YouTube is absurdly high. Barrier to entry to make viral videos in YouTube. YouTube's already, outside of having a phone, outside of the people who make videos with their phones, one could argue that YouTube is kind of a luxury hobby or career profession for what the barrier to entry to be competitive today is, outside of having a good phone. And unless you're very talented, TikTok is not that hard barrier to entry. That's why people love it. But to be competitive in most popular niches in YouTube, can someone blow up in their niche? Yes. Can someone get 2 million to 10 million views and everything like that? The only person I know who can teach that's Daryl Eves. Hashtag not sponsored by Daryl Eves. Sorry for the rant, Nick, and sorry for the rant on your stream.
I love it. Yeah, D is in the house also. What's up, D, man? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so D says, I love it when Roberto sweeps the leg. Yep.
I'm sorry about that, Nick.
No, it's good, man. Yeah, I love your rants, man. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. So on that note, I just want to say thank you for everybody for hanging out in the live stream. Thank you, Roberto, for coming on and hanging out today. Thank you for Andrew Kim also for coming on and hanging out today. Yeah, the chat was all kinds of fun during that. That was fantastic. Absolutely love that. That was great. So thank you, Roberto, for coming on. Thank you for everybody for hanging out in the stream. Hope you learned something today. For those of you that didn't get your questions answered, just as a heads up, these forums are what we use to actually, cater the content that we are putting out. Also, some of the questions might get answered like in podcast or, in video form and things like that. So because of that, just want to let you know that, it's not that the only thing is that we just didn't get to it, but all of these things get compiled so that we can make sure that we're delivering the right content to you. So, so thank you everybody for hanging out. Happy 4th of July. Thank you, D, again for reminding of that. For those of you that are American here in the chat, have an awesome 4th of July. Have a great rest of your weekend. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of the community. All the new channel members, as a reminder, make sure that you head over to the VIP Facebook group. Look for Nimminati VIP next time you're on Facebook. Everybody have an awesome rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.